See it. Oh, there we go. Wow, I've been talking this whole time, and you guys haven't heard me, according to the software. All right, then. I'll start over. So, what's up with the space goggles is that I had ordered a competitive product 2 years ago for the HV Nomads project, and the intent was to give me virtual monitors, and the company is still dragging butt. And so I asked for my money back. And about 20 days later, they gave me the money back. And I picked these up because they were cheaper, and they did not because they were cheaper, but because they did what they other folks said they were supposed to do, was the virtual monitors without the big old Apple goggles, or now the Samsung goggles, and or the MetaQuest and all that. Because the MetaQuest would be like, "Hey, there's a cyborg doing the show," rather than just somebody looks like Super Saf or Casey Neistat with the sunglasses at night indoors situation. And so this gives me a 137-inch screen right now, but it can get bigger. I think it can get further away, but that also makes it bigger. I don't think it can get any closer or smaller. And the reason I didn't put this on a couple weeks ago when it finally arrived was because I didn't have the glasses inserts, the prescription, and I didn't want to wear glasses on glasses because it would bring you back to the whole goggle situation. So that's the story of these. These are the X Real One Pro, and I like them. There was a sale going on at some point. You can use my Amazon link to get yourself a pair, and I'd get a commission, and you would pay nothing extra. Just instead of Jeff getting the whole cut, I would get a cut. All right, so we got the tablet replaced with an upgrade. I'm sending the other one back probably tonight or tomorrow. I gotta see when I can get to the store. I think I can see that nicely. Yeah, I'll leave it there. It's got the spaces running on it, and get that other one back to them. Get a new case and keyboard for it because they finally changed the tablet enough that I couldn't use the one I got back with the Galaxy Tab Ultra 8 or whatever. Because the 9, 10, and the 9 and the 10, um, they would say, "Oh, this isn't the right one." Blah 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 blah. The only difference was that the flap that covered up the pen, the stylus, the pencil, whatever you call it, it wouldn't close all the way because the camera lenses had these beautiful chrome rings on them on the 10, and probably the 9 too. I skipped the 9, and so it wouldn't close up. But the keyboard connected, the protective case cover fit, and everything was fine. So I was like, all right, we'll do that again because they didn't change anything again. The battery's still the same size. The chip is practically the same. And I get it. And they've moved the keyboard connector to the back and a couple of other uh, weird things. I don't know what just dropped on me. The kid probably dropped some cereal in my lap. I can't see it. The so now it needs at least a new slip cover, if not, because I can do like a Bluetooth keyboard or something, but I'd rather not have a separate thing. But what I liked about the old cover was uh, it had the trackpad and the keyboard, and just like the Apple, the Magic. You've seen the one on my iPad where it's got the trackpad and the keyboard, and it weighs more than the iPad. Samsung had their own, but it had a kickstand instead of weighing more than the tablet, and that was pretty fun. But now it's got no coverage, so we gotta do something about that because I don't want to be using the insurance package that comes with it. So with that, I've got another window open. We're gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and open up. Anders gave us our story in the notebook today. Let's go ahead and paste it in the window before I go, so it doesn't have a bunch of politics and bad news and whatever else is on that home screen there. No, we're not signing in with that. Is there a way for me to do it without logging in? Because I'm not logging into this one. And I'm not giving away email addresses, so I don't want to share this window what I will do is describe what I see. Um, so Anders shared a post by Clement Brest. With MultiPass, Tesla owners gain access to charging points outside of the Tesla network. No additional subscription is needed. Initially launched in the Netherlands, we're expanding today to Belgium, France, Germany, the UK, and Sweden. And as we know, Anders is hailing us from Stockholm, Sweden. Hello, Anders, whenever you get signed in here. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And then we had a link over to the post from Tesla Charging that had that. So let's go on over there. And so Tesla Sweden says, Tesla Charging says, MultiPass is now available in Sweden. They got a link. Germany, link, United Kingdom, France, Belgium, and they've got the hey, there he is. There's Anders, and thank you for the story, Anders. It's a good one. And so um, we're gonna click on the Tesla Sweden link, and then we're gonna hit United Kingdom just in case it's not in English, because I am not any level of polyglot. I don't want to say none. I've just got bits and pieces. I'm not useful anything. I'm not useful in anything other than English, without a machine translator or a guide of some sort, somebody to help me out. All right, that's weird. I got an ad for Energy Sage. All right, so yes, I see it. So we're gonna share screen. We're gonna share the Tesla Sweden and then switch it to the Tesla UK. So we're gonna share screen. Microsoft Edge is requesting to bypass the system privacy window checker. Yeah, that's why I clicked share screen and gave them permission. But with Apple, you got to do it every 30 days, and this is my backup browser. Let's go to that one. And with the reason I was late today is, as Highlander knows, I call them the BBs. Let's call them boss babies. And they had some errands for me to run. Yesterday, we went over to my nieces, their cousins' play, and that was a success. And then we got back here at midnight with a 6% battery, and basically passed out asleep until I was aroused from the bed. Get up, get up! We've got stuff to do all over the region, and so we had to take a long trek to the other side of the region, and got back here at about 12:55. But then Madam Wiggles was not having any of this getting ready for the show stuff. And then once I was able to get ready for the show, we had forced firmware upgrades. I'm like, well, they're making it really hard to get around the X button, so there might be a security patch or a stability issue or whatever. So I'm like, all right, fine, do it. And normally those updates take like a minute and a half. This one took like 7 minutes. And I found the release notes while it was doing its thing, and there was a stability patch, but it was only for shows over 24 hours. I'm known for some long shows, but I am not doing a 24-hour show anytime soon. And if I do, what I've learned from our friend, famous in my phone over on X, is is possible. I'm not doing it, but if I were to host one, what I would do is probably have a rotating cast and have a couple people take some shifts or take some watches, and we would rotate through because that's more my style. So it's still a 24-hour stream, but I don't have to be up and talking for 24 hours. So let's go on over to. All right, so I've got the thing to share. Let's hit share and then adjust my camera view. Excuse me. Sorry. All right, so let's put us over here. That is almost the way I like it. There we go. Yes, that is looking good. All right, so I'll have to move the mouse. Excuse me. So the plan was, I've still got the teleprompter, beam splitter, and everything set up. But I wasn't sure how this would work out. Whoa, had a little shift there. Uh, it doesn't normally do that because this one has normally the base pair of these X Real Pros has a 3 DOF, 3 degrees of freedom. Well, this one has the 6 DOF because it's got the optical module installed. So it's basically a camera, and it can give it extra stability while you're moving your head around because I've got the screen locked in place on top of your guys' camera, similar to how I had it with the teleprompter. Wow, it dims out those. I'm looking right at the looking right at the stage lights, and they look like they're off, but it's the tint got them. That was pretty cool. Um, anyway, so I've got you guys pasted right over the camera, and the goal was to get back this 2.5, 3 feet of space that the teleprompter rig takes up, shove it in a box for like traveling, and actually with these I might not even need it for traveling. I might, well, if I'm traveling, there's a better chance that we'll end up with more than one of us on screen. So then we can do the iPad thing again, and then we can have me and guest looking at you guys looking at what we're discussing on the screen. So I don't think I need to get rid of the teleprompter box yet, but it would be nice to have that space back on the desk. Okay, so let's get to talking about what we were talking about. So Anders, ultimately, his link sent us here, and I'm going to switch it to the English again because my multilingual skills are not as good as they need to be. Getting better. Getting better. All right. So, uh, what this is Tesla Multipass. We talked about this months ago when we first saw it in, I want to say Netherlands or Norway. Now it's like all over Europe, and I imagine it's going to be all over the world once this next expanded test finishes. So, Tesla Multipass. Oh, that's the other thing I like about this is I don't have to make the text giant, and I don't have to dodge the light of the camera because I'm looking right at at the thing with you guys. So I think if I can change this setup a little bit more, so I can do the ultra wide, I can have it so like there's a little preview of you guys, so I don't have to flip back and forth. But I've got it set up like I had on the teleprompter, where I've got you guys chat hanging over the side of what we're looking at, which is good enough to just transplant everything over, give it a good start. So Tesla Multipass allows you to seamlessly find and charge at third-party stations using your Tesla account. Using an established network aggregator, we connect 1,000 charging networks and thousands of stations across Europe. And so, what's really kind of cool about this is that um, when you're on the Tesla network, so you can go to Tesla superchargers, you can go to destination chargers, you can go to municipal, private, any number of not Tesla destination chargers that do charge a fee. Just plug in, and it'll either deduct it from your supercharger miles balance, or it will charge your credit card when the station is done, or when the session is done, or it will charge your debit card, whatever you have it set up for. I think they have Tesla gift cards now. I'm not sure that they have Tesla gift cards, but the system appears it could handle it. And basically, it further fulfills the promise that we were given years ago. Basically, pack a lunch, stay with friends, leave your wallet at home. And uh, part of that premise was that supercharging was free forever. It is for some people, like me, but and only with this car, and only if I get a new car with the Lux package with while they're still offering that, or if I buy an old car that's got it built to the car instead of to the owner. But that this fulfills that friction free promise is what I'm getting at there, not the actual freeness of it. So uh, what's cool about this is so here in the states we've got you've got Electrify America, you've got Tesla, you've got EVgo, you've got any number of um, networks. And like over in Europe, you've got Tesla, Fastned, so on and so forth. Now you don't have to carry the dongles, the apps, the key fobs, the pull out your credit card or text a number, scan a QR code. You just do what you've always done. Just go there, plug in, and this is basically plug and charge. Tesla's on it now, but I like they call it the multipass, multipass, Lilu multipass. So we are looking at. Let's look at these frequently asked questions and see how they did it. What's going on? I managed to move the mouse all the way over there. So there we go. Get it back over here. What is Tesla Multipass? It's a seamless charging option for your Tesla vehicle. You can find third-party chargers on your vehicle's touchscreen or in the Tesla app and pay for your charging session with your Tesla account. So what I'm wondering now, if you have a Tesla and something else, and you went ahead and signed up for the Tesla subscription, so that all of your other non-Tesla vehicles get the Tesla rates when you go to the superchargers, does this work for that? Like you pull out the app and say, "Hey, this is my non-Tesla. I'm at this non-Tesla station. I want to use multipass. I'm going to need somebody who's got the Tesla subscription and a non-Tesla to please try this out in one of the countries in Europe that this is accepted. I am curious. Or if somebody's already done it and you can point me a link, I'd appreciate that too. All right, so who can sign up for Tesla Multipass? Tesla owners are automatically enrolled in Tesla Multipass. Oh, that's cool. So the next question again is if you're a Tesla charging pass member or Tesla, what do they call it? Stand by. Let me pull up my phone here real quick. I'm glad I was watching because pulling up the phone dropped the tablet. And as I mentioned earlier, the tablet is caseless. All right, so I'm going to the Tesla app and I'm going over to the menu, charging, manage payment, history, vehicle details, membership. So it's called Tesla membership. And so they have non-Tesla membership for, oh, the price has gone up. It was like $10 or $9 a month. It's $12.99 a month now. And what it allows is you can save monthly on charging costs for your other EV. You pay per use. As a non-member, you pay per use. It's a table. As a member, you pay $12.99, and then you access the supercharging network as we owners do. And then you have a lower price per kilowatt, X on the non-member and check on the member. And so let me change screen so I can see what I'm showing you. Um, there we go. So I'm wondering if you have your Tesla membership, um, if that also gives you a Tesla multipass. I can probably find it out when it comes to the states, but if one of you guys who's either already in it or can bear a month of it can let us know or find us a link to somebody who thinks like me, um, I'd like to see what we're looking at with that. Get back in the frame here. It says, "Where can I charge?" To see a charger list, toggle the display third-party charging network in the navigation settings, and you can view nearby third-party charging stations on your vehicle's touchscreen, or as I said in the app. I don't want a pop filter for this, but I do like how I'm able to get closer to this. Maybe if I come off to the side here like this. There we go, and I'm not putting plosives right into the mic. How do I activate multipass? We'll notify you in the setting in the Tesla app when you activate multipass. Follow these steps. Open the app. How to start a charging session. Two ways to start. That's what basically, is it exactly plug and charge or is it something else? There are two ways to start a charging session. You either tap your key card. Oh, that was the other cool part when we did discuss that during our fifth element references galore about multipass was you tap your Lido multipass on the station and it acknowledges you. And that's pretty cool. What's the other way? You can tap your card or you can do it from the Tesla app. Okay. And I bet that would be for the stations that don't have NFC. All right, where have I stashed the mouse now? Okay, I keep putting it off on the big screen. Uh, da, da, da. Where can I view my charge history? Probably right where you always do. Yep, Tesla app, right corner, charging, charge history. Boom, done. How much I pay per session? Or how do I pay? Okay, that's the last question there. Charging cost depends on on the cost of. That would have been really cool if they managed to negotiate a rate, but they did not. Your default payment method in the Tesla app will be set as the default payment for Tesla Multipass. Note, it is not possible to pay with a charge card provided by another electric mobility service provider. So, uh, for example, your ChargePoint or FastNet card will not work on your Tesla multipass. So if there's like a deal, like, hey, this weekend only, use your Fastnet account and you get uh, 20% off. You'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. So again, thank you, Anders, for bringing this to our attention. That is a really cool development. Yes, Moto. What's up? What's going on? Where are you? I hear you. Oh, you got money. Wow. Are you giving it to me to hold on for you? Okay, thank you. I'll hold on this way. You're gonna buy a new toy with it? Okay. You're not gonna save any of it? Oh, you are. Okay, good. All right. So now let's look at some of our usual suspects. Let's start with we did Inside EVs last week. We did electric many times before that. What do we want to do this week? Do we want to do not green car reports? So they're out. Who was the other one? Not Teslarati. Found another one that I go to sometimes, and that was on the tip of my tongue, and now they're not. All right, let's do electric just for now. Hit a couple stories, and then switch over to Inside EVs, and then from there, we'll see if I remember the name of the other one, and we'll go there. So I'm trying to mouse, but I'll need to mouse here so you guys can see me in the center of the frame. Mercedes offering a massive $50,000 discount on this luxury SUV. It is on electric, and 50,000 goes in with our saving money and snagging deals. So we'll definitely look at that. Equipment highlight: the highest rated lawnmowers on Amazon are electric. I mean, that only makes sense. You're not dealing with small engine maintenance and storage. You're not dealing with all the noise and the rattling and the smells and the pollution. And they start every time. No surprises, no random trips to a gas station, no mixing oil with fuel. All the constant filter changes that you forget to do, and then you're burning more of everything. New Mitsubishi Eclipse electric crossover gets real with 370 miles of range. Like I said, we will look at whatever Mitsubishi says they're bringing, because unlike the other Japanese automakers, they aren't just giving us gabby gab lip service. And here's an opinion piece by Jameson. When Tesla's FSD works, it gets credit. When it doesn't, you get blamed. So we were talking with somebody on the Tesla Life show about he'd had a FSD versus deer, and wasn't having a great time with it. I had a juvenile deer sometime in the week, at the evening time. It wasn't sunset, but it was getting dimmer, and I guess that is sunset, but it wasn't dark. It was excuse me. It was getting dimmer, and we were going through a wooded area, and excuse me. It was a low speed limit area, so we're doing about uh, 30 miles an hour. What's that? 60 kilometers an hour. Excuse me. Excuse me. So at 30 miles an hour, 60 kilometers an hour, and I see something flash from the yard on my right, and it wasn't the car, and it wasn't a kid, and it wasn't a ball. So then I see the eyes and the nose and the half an antler. I'm like, oh boy, and I slam on the brakes. And I don't know if FSD would have reacted. I didn't see anything on the screen, but as you guys know, there are times where I will watch and see what it's going to do. And as I always preach at you guys, if you don't know what it's going to do and it's not safe, it's a danger situation, slam on the brakes, or whatever is the appropriate response. Steer, accelerate. Um, goose that lightning pedal. But in this case, young male deer doing what they do and being erratic. I slam on the brakes. And I glanced down to see if the car saw it because it definitely wasn't giving me red hands and doot doot doot. And I don't know if it was going to stop or not, but we stopped and we missed it, and then it kept on going. Uh, as it was happening, I had the feeling that we could have missed it. Like it was just like if the car did see it, it was just tracking its speed. But that's putting too much faith in a deer not being stupid and turning around. So I still think that I did the right thing by stopping, and so we didn't have any collision. There's nobody behind us that wasn't paying attention. Everybody had a good day. Oh, I mean, we were inconvenienced and annoyed, but because it woke up one of the babies and my wife. But there was no collision, no repairs, no dead creature, no injured creature. So pretty good day. But so as James is saying, if it doesn't, you get blamed. And so yes, I would have been blamed for not paying attention and not taking over for the deer. We were traveling through Charleston yesterday as well, and there was an incident where it looked like 50 cars all had one or multiple flats, and we saw the police up in there with their lights on, and I wasn't sure. Did the police also get multiple flats, or are they responding to this mess? And then we found later that evening, we found a Facebook news blurb from one of the local news agencies, and they said at least 2 dozen. So I counted 50. Maybe some of them were support, or maybe at least 2 dozen is was off by two from what I had counted. Right. So they counted 48. I counted 50. Maybe I counted one twice. All these cars had a minimum of one flat tire. Most of them had 2 to 4 flat tires. And I was like, wow, maybe this construction zone had something wrong with the road surface that these many people got jammed up. But the news described it as object in road, and I don't know. I don't know that people are driving that poorly that 50 people can miss object in road, unless it's road colored or road shaped. I'm wondering if that's just not a excuse by the SC dot to get out of paying all the claims on all these people's tires, or worse, because some of these people ended up in the ditch, and I didn't see anybody that appeared injured, but when you're going off a soft shoulder on a car that no longer has proper inflation in a construction zone, some of the lower cars look like they ate some dirt. Is what I'm getting at, like the messed up aero dams, aero splitters, undercovers, and so I'm wondering because your insurance will put you at fault if something you hit is already on the road surface, unless it's sliding or bouncing or is airborne when you hit it or it hits you. So if it's not in motion still, they will weasel their way out of it depending on what your coverage is. And so I'm wondering, is it possible that 50 people weren't paying attention, including cars with some smart features? I don't recall seeing any Teslas in the lineup, even though we saw Tesla after Tesla oncoming and coming with us on that part of the trip. Is it possible that it was something in the road as described, or was it the road itself? Like they have a bump or a transition, or they move the road over left and right so they can do their thing, and maybe the transition was just really crappy and just taking out tires left and right. They described it as in the left lane, and all the people we saw over pulled toward us on because we were on the opposing traffic. All the people we saw pulled toward us or crashed towards us, depending on how violently their tires went out. They all had multiple flats. The people who pulled away from us on the right lane, they were all the ones that had the one flat tire. But some of them had multiple flats as well. So I don't know if it was uh, if they had multiple flats, but they were better drivers, or they had better inflation or something, and they were able to pull over on the proper side of the road that you're not supposed to use the yellow median unless it's an emergency, and so they used the white median. And all of that to say, they're going to say, "Oh, you should have been paying more attention." But again, 50 people that had to have been part of the road. or some really undetectable object. I don't. There were no pictures. There was no further follow up, so I don't know what was going on with that beyond what was stated, but it sounds a little suspicious. Like they could have been trying to get out of paying the full pop for the stuff. I told my wife as we were driving. I said, that construction company's insurance is not going to be happy." Uh, from what we could see on our side of the road, nothing obvious in the road, a bunch of people splayed out, because we would have had to have passed what was going on. We saw all the cars busted out, and they were getting denser, 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 and then they were gone, and it was just a traffic jam instead of more people popping their tires. And I guess the only other way it could be object in road and be construction and people not see it is like maybe because we did see on some parts of the construction there and in North Carolina, we did see people actually working. Oftentimes on these types of weekends, you'll see the construction zone. It'll be a weekend, and it will not be active either because they're waiting for nighttime, or the contract doesn't specify they have to work weekends or whatever. They were both partially active. This one in Charleston, and this one a bunch of them in North Carolina, and so, but they weren't fully going like you would see in the middle of the day on a work day. Anyway, so because it was partially active, maybe I don't think they would run a spike strip, but maybe something like a chain from a truck came in at the last second, or uh, I don't know, something like that. Something that could have been object on road, but shouldn't have been there. Was like dragging or in motion. They caught them all, and then were able to clean it up before we came through. All pure speculation. It's all fun to think about, but again, these people are all going to get blamed for hitting whatever it was. And in the case of FSD, you are supervising. FSD supervised. And we did have good news on the shareholder call that we knew this had to be done, but as a bigger and bigger company, Tesla sometimes takes the big company way out, and they did the right thing here. And they said that if you're in robotaxi mode, then you're going to be on Tesla insurance, and we know they have Tesla insurance, and it works across the nation. You just can't buy it across the nation. So probably in autonomous mode, your car shifts over to Texas or California or wherever their Tesla insurance is running from, and then becomes their car until it's released back into your care. Yeah, let's look at this and see what kind of arguments he puts forth. The anti-Tesla deal. Polestar 3 gets an $18,000 incentive for November. If this is what I'm thinking it is, they were running a conquest sale to get you to trade in your Tesla for an extra used Model X. Not bad. Zero. I already had a 220, 240 outlet. And in the survey, we asked electric owners how they expected to pay and add EV charging to their homes. Yeah, I'd be here because I had the Siemens for the Volt. Oh, I forgot about this stupid screensaver on the tablet. I only have one finger enrolled in this thing. I didn't add the others yet. I had the Siemens for the Volt, and then for the Model S, I got the 80 amp charging wall, the 80 amp wall connector, because I wanted to charge really fast. And then when I got the X with the high amp onboard charger, so I can charge at 72 amps. So I would be right here at 0. I already had it. 250 to 500, pretty straightforward. And that would be the answer during the Model S time. And the first Volt, the silver Volt. The red Volt, I already had the Siemens as well. Need a few upgrades to make it happen. Over 1,000, let us know. So I'm right here in the 0. It might not take because I don't think I'm logged in on this app, on this browser. Okay, so 162 volts. 17 and 23. So 250 to $1,000. That's reasonable. Just give me the answer. All right, so back to what they were doing. The anti-Tesla, that's again a nice savings. Let's take a look at that. Gemini has made Google Home incredibly smart, except for the dumb mistakes. YouTube TV rolling out $20 credit on November 9th if Disney deal isn't reached. That's interesting. YouTube TV Disney battle is bigger than you think, and it probably affects you too. Um, if this is probably the same as it always is with the Disney battle. Is ESPN. People love sports, and Disney ABC owns ESPN, and they wield it like a cudgel to get what they want in these cable deals. And YouTube TV is technically cable. It's not too late to get 30% solar tax credit unless you live in these states. All right, you guys know me, so we're going to take a look at that. The NIU, or the NIU, shows off a 95-mile-an-hour electric maxi scooter as a high-tech beast. So it cannot be a moped. It can be a scooter, but it cannot be a moped. I don't think in any country. So it would definitely be a motorcycle almost everywhere you take it. They showed off production-ready electric scooters and motorcycles at ICMA this year. ICMA? I don't know how people pronounce that acronym. Uh, One of the most eye-catching, it's something you can't buy just yet, but will definitely want to. It's called the Concept 06, and it's NIO's boldest vision yet for the future of electric two-wheelers. I need to shave or trim. I'm getting a little itchies. Mercedes is offering, because that's one we're going to cover, equipment. New Mitsubishi Eclipse crossover. We're definitely discussing that. We already picked up the Tesla piece. U.S. Customs delays forced solar giants Q cells to furlough 1,000 workers. This building looks extremely familiar to me, and not just because it's like a warehouse, but it looks like the old A123 factory in Detroit. I'm probably wrong, but that's what it. I see it, and that's what I think. I'm gonna click into it just to see if they caption this picture. Toyota is yet again delaying EV battery plans. Oh, go figure. Who could have ever guessed this? Um, Clicking on the X chat there, and oh yeah. So Highlander, in addition to the BBs slowing me down on starting up the show today, I also hadn't yet been able to edit the video from last week. I tried again this morning, and the computer started fighting me again as far as accessing the network location where I store the core files, and then we ran out of time trying to turn this thing on. But I will get you done. It might not be this week. I owe Adobe a year's worth of money because I do it yearly upfront, and I don't get paid for the next show. I don't think. When do I get paid next? Uh, I'm expected to pull up a calendar, and it refuses. So I'm gonna look over here at the BB's calendars. Yeah, just in time for the next show. So we'll see if that's enough time to turn them back on, or if they turn me off. Because right now they just want money, and they didn't say it wouldn't start up. So we'll see. Got to carry it away from me because those of you that don't know, the Adobe Cloud Suite is not cheap, and I forgot to look at my calendar to see that it was coming and make sure they had a little bit of runway. And well, they won't. Give me my $2. Where my $2 at? Anyway, that is a reference to a movie I didn't watch, but some older friends of mine, they were enamored with it, and so I saw a couple clips of the young man on the bicycle wanting his newspaper money. Anyway, so yeah, Toyota is delaying EV battery plans yet again. Do I even want to read what and how? I don't, but let's see what what their excuse is this time. Podcast. Tesla is now Elon's. Xpeng goes AI, Rivian earnings, and more. I don't think that's an accurate statement, unless they're talking ideologically, because It's a stock payment plan, and he has to hit all the milestones, which he's always done. But that also means anyone who's already holding, they get a similar increase, and it doesn't stop you from buying more. It does, from what I've seen, stop Tesla employees from buying more simply because I don't know how accurate the article is. I only saw the headline. I didn't get into it. Uh, Apparently, the employee purchase plan needed a refill, and they didn't actually refill it. They did a partial refill just to the pool that they feed Elon from. Um, and it sounds bad, and it was headline. So, like I said, I would need to read more about it, but that doesn't stop retail investors or institutional investors from going right along for the ride. But if he's hitting milestone after milestone, it's going to get expensive to keep buying in. But what you do have will continue going up with it. Obviously, forward-looking statements. This is not stock advice. Consult your fiduciarily obligated trusted advisor. Why do I specify somebody who is fiduciary to you? Because there are advisors that don't have to ensure that you are the one making money, and they can take you for a ride. Don't want that. Anyway, I don't think that's an accurate statement that it's Elon's, unless we let it be that way as shareholders. Nissan Juke looks way better as an EV. Here's your first look. Oh, an EV Juke. And I forget what you guys call it overseas. Hopefully, it's in the article. Velatric early Black Friday sale. Tesla down 5% on news it stuck with its bad CEO Elon Musk for a decade. I don't think that's what did it. I think any Tesla news makes Tesla go down, and um, I guess not any because it does go up, and it does go up on news, but it doesn't go up on news you'd expect that would make it go up. But I do see um, that being a potential reason for it to go down this time. Logically, uh, both ways. Not to say that, but from the adulation of the crowd, it would sound like it should have gone up for those investors. But not everybody goes to the meetings. Anyway, uh, Honda wants to sell your EV. Wants to sell you an EV for under $30,000 eventually. All right, we'll skim that. See what's going on. Archer Aviation acquires Los Angeles Airport as home to a new air taxi hub and AI test facility. The way that that's worded sounds like they bought the whole airport. That logically, I've never been to the LA airport, so that doesn't sound right. Uh, I'm assuming not LAX because LAX I know is huge, and they would not have been able to have accomplished that. So we'll see what Scooter's talking about here. We'll skim it, and then we'll go on because this whole air taxi hub, unless they're talking about like private jets, I don't see. Like, if we're talking like VTOL drones and stuff, I mean, it'll happen eventually, but I don't see that being the case. So I'm just curious what's up with that headline. Lucid will begin delivering more affordable gravity touring SUV next month. I saw a beautiful Lucid Air this weekend, and you could tell from the taillights that it was a Lucid, but as we were riding behind it and as we passed it, it didn't look like any config I'd seen before in terms of like style and color. I knew it was an Air, but I'm wondering if maybe they had a wrap on it and custom wheels or something. But it was beautiful. Blue Origin sets its eyes on Mars with a second New Glenn launch. Did they already do that? And what's up with everybody going to Mars? I get Elon going to Mars because he's obsessed with it, but everybody else, there's like nothing there, unless you want to put people there for, like a hop and a skip or whatever. And by nothing there, I mean nothing commercially there. There's plenty of science there. Acting NASA administrator's post gets embarrassingly fact checked. All right, let's see that. I love seeing this guy get fact checked because he's anti-EV, oil shill, former oil CEO, and he wants to straddle us with extra $500 to $700 a year in federal EV tax on top of whatever mess your state is doing. So it's fun seeing him get abused, logically, especially for stuff he said in public. Jarek Isaacson is back as the NASA nominated administrator. That is good to see. Congratulations to Jared. Hopefully you get it. You'll do better than Duffy for sure. And we're talking about the guy who has captained several SpaceX flights on the Dragon, and he's a fighter jet pilot and billionaire, and he seems to be one of the ones that seems to actually have a care about his people. So everything I know of him and have seen of him, none of it gives me pause. Yes, some of the stuff he said about the way forward in terms of more like a business, or the government more like a business thing. Government doesn't have to be run like a business, but the stuff I was hearing from him wasn't, we need to turn our profit. It was just like, hey, we can do these things so we can afford to pay this much more science. And if we do these things, then we can, have the glory of having people in space as well. And so his more like a business talk didn't sound money grubby scary. It sounded practical because politicians are always screaming about how much money we give to NASA. And if his way is going to stretch a dollar on the science, I can go with that. And if it also means, like when a project runs out of money, they don't launch freaking concrete at the moon instead of a fully completed lander, I'd like that because, what a waste. How the government shutdown could delay the launch of Artemis 2. Uh, I probably shouldn't say too much about Artemis 2, but I don't think it's. I think the program has got some serious flaws. A computer chip manufacturer is moving to space. So Elon and before Elon, but one other company and then Elon were talking about putting their graphics cards in space, so they have all of the power they need. And then everybody who tried to pick it apart said, "Oh, did you know that it's hard to get rid of heat in space? It is hard, yes, but it doesn't mean you can't do it. We do it. We've been doing it for 20 years on the ISS, and even longer than that in all of our manned space flights. So." And then, of course, we've got how many computers in space right now? We've got Starlink, we've got all of the geostationary birds, we've got all the LEO, all the MEO. We know how to get rid of heat in space. It might not be the way you like to do it, but we can do it. The Wheelie podcast. Oh, this was fun to see. They at the shareholder meeting, they updated the Tesla Semi design, and so it's got the new family headlights from the Cybertruck and Juniper and Cybercab. You might not think that the Cybertruck has them, but remember, the Cybertruck is a square version of everything. So if you were to square up the Model Y lights, it's a Cybertruck. And in fact, that's something I've been having trouble telling at night is about to get passed by a Cybertruck or a new Model Y until I remembered this little mnemonic to help me determine a little easier. Is if the lower lights, the headlights themselves, not the actual light bar, the headlights themselves, the little dots are wider apart, it's a Juniper. And if they're really close together and still kind of squared, instead of kind of like a rounded shape, if they're kind of squared, it's hard to tell the distance and depending on the lighting conditions for me. But if they're closer together, it's a Cybertruck. And then as it gets closer, you'll know for sure. But like I said, sometimes it's harder to tell, and that's my new trick to see the difference. Tesla extends one-time FSD transfer scheme again, and we'll play it by ear. This one I've been complaining about online repeatedly. The question was posed to Musk, "Hey, let's tie this mess to the owner," and then he put some some stipulations on it that would make it easy for Tesla to say, "Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's easy. Let's go ahead and do that because it lets us out so many different ways, and it becomes a lock-in forced loyalty program." And then Elon immediately misheard it, probably purposefully. Um, oh yeah, we'll do another one-time transfer. It's like, no, my dude, these people you are discussing a loyalty program, and you're talking about yet another end of quarter end of year sales blitz, and that's not what this guy asked you, and you know that's not what he asked you. You might not know for sure what he was asking, but you know that your answer is not what he was asking. So oh, we've been doing this for a while now. We're gonna allow another one time transfer next quarter, and then we'll play it by ear. That is not licensing. That is, I mean, it is licensing, but it's not what the guy was asking. I was asking, tie it to me. Don't tie it to the metal. But that's just one of my many Tesla rants. I've got them. Uh, Mark and Patrick know about it. I'm the salty Tesla owner. Uh, Tesla delays flying Roadster demo to April Fool's Day, production 27 and 28. So that was another thing came up in the shareholder brief as they asked him about Roadster. Because they were aiming for by the end of the year. And then Elon's like, oh, if I say April Fool's, then and I miss it, then you can say, haha, April Fool's, I'm kind of joking now. Like, that's not how it works, you weird dude. But finally, we got another date. It's gonna be April Fool's, and I wasn't that annoyed by it. I was more annoyed by his stupid joke. I wasn't that annoyed by it because if you remember, roughly 7 years ago, actually, roughly 8 years ago, uh, or is it 9 now? Either way, March 31st, you were able to go and reserve sight unseen a Tesla Model 3. And then on April 1st was the unveiling event. So him and his childish humor, not that like, oh, I could just retcon it, but his regular the using the 69, the 420, and the April Fools. That's what I mean by the childish humor. They've done it before, and that's not so annoying that it would be that, especially since I don't have 250 or $200,000 of Roadster reservation or free Roadster giveaway on my books. So while it is annoying to have to wait, it's also exciting to see this thing is finally getting a little bit closer. And again, obviously, if you were one of the people who is invested in this particular thing, I'm sure it was both annoying and exciting. Uh, kind of reconfirming that it's not what they showed us, so it's not going to look like this. I don't know what it's going to look like, but this was already pretty good. And assuming that Franz designed this thing, we know it'll be special. And I'm just curious and excited. We're not going to really get into that one though, because it's not vapor, but it's not the time to really get into that one on this show anyway. Musk says FSD will allow texting and driving in a month or two. I predict that either this will go through and then immediately draw the ire of the NHTSA, NTSB, and others, or they'll get an injunction. So, like next week, we'll see a stoppage, or if they announce too closely what's in it when it's coming, they'll get an injunction on it, or they'll get a little slap on the wrist. Or with the government shutdown, maybe the crew that would stop this is not working, and they can squeak it out there and then say, "Hey, look, we've had it for a month and nobody's had any incidents, so we demand a waiver." This could go any number of ways. Uh, the current FSD is safer than his complaint of people who turn off FSD and autopilot, oversteer everything to text, and then turn it back on. It's safer than that, but it's not advised to do that today. I would not. If you told me you were doing this and texting where the thing couldn't see you or whatever, I'd say don't do that. You get in trouble. But with this, I'm wondering if they start the Tesla insurance liability situation, or if they just turn off the part of the monitor that turns it off if you pick up the phone. And again, that is the safer. That last one is the safer option if nothing else changes. If nothing else changes except that they don't turn off it for you checking out. I mean, literally, it's better than nothing, but that's only because mathematically it's better than nothing. It's not to say that, again, objects in the left lane taking out 50 cars tires, 50 cars worth of tires, isn't something that you would have seen that the car did not see. However, as I mentioned earlier, none of those 50 cars were autonomous in any fashion. except maybe like laser cruise, lidar cruise, radar cruise, optical cruise. But that's as far as it got. They weren't any sort of smart cards. They were all at the most was didn't run into the car in front of them, uh, emergency brake sort of situation. But it would not have stopped for an object. So anyway, in that same situation, you're texting, and like I said, we don't know how FSD would have performed because there were no Teslas in it. Um, and then we find out, oh, Tesla would have been affected by this as well. You're texting, and well, you're less safe at that point if nothing else changes except for they turn off the monitor. I don't know if I opened it yet, but we're gonna click it again to make sure it is open, and we're gonna jump into discussion on that because it could go any number of ways. From $189 a month, 5 of the best EV lease deals in November. Fine. Elon Musk says, "Let the criminals out of prison and give them a robot stalker instead." He did say that at the as a good paraphrase. He did say that at the shareholder meeting. Uh, with that one, it could work in the era of abundance that he wants to see forth. It will not work today for any number of reasons. But I do kind of think it is less punitive. So like, um, I think that's a case of old Elon shining through, and I think it's a little rosy. I mean, it could work for some criminals in some cases and some punishments, but uh, that one would be a discussion basically. Kia slashes EV prices with new $10,000 discount across the board. And this is what we were talking about. We'd start to see is the manufacturer stepping in to replace the tax credit. Not that many Kias qualified in the first place. They did the same article twice. 221, Peter Johnson. 221, Peter Johnson. Weird. Excuse me. Tesla shareholders shoot sells its foot. Approved $1 trillion payday updated. Full voting results are out. I would like to see the voting results. I forgot to vote in time for this, and I was um, mixed thinking on whether or not I was for or against that particular pay package. I mean, you know, even Mr. Part Time there deserves at least a part time paycheck. He had nothing for over 10 years now, but I don't know. Just curious what the numbers are on that. The Toyota BZ time attack concept pushes the electric crossover to its limits, and I'm not that interested in it. Sorry. Solar and wind are booming in 2025, but the global targets lag behind. That's definitely right up our alley. Ford's electric F-150 Lightning pickup may be all but dead. Sounds sensational. Let's see what Peter's up to. Stellantis Chinese EV brand gets 590 horsepower worth of German tuner cred. Volvo donates the L25 electric wheel loader to Habitat for Humanity. Hey, good on you. Rad Power sale. Toyota recalls over 1 million vehicles, including RAV4 EVs from several brands. I didn't snag a link, but somebody has a recall for wheels falling off, and it's not these guys. So, but it made me think of it because that was their recall. BMW updates its best-selling EV with more power and range. I think no. Nissan's finally showing signs of recovery, but it's not out of the woods yet. 15K Chinese EV. Candela's flying electric boat set to soar around the Maldives. You guys know I love a good flying boat. Either hydrofoil or or the duck boat. Not the duck boats, but maybe a modern duck boat would be cool. Built on a stable platform. But not the duck boats. What was I'm thinking of? The amphibious planes. Multipass, lead a multipass. We talked about that already. Thank you, Anders. It seems like Elon Musk is stoking a civil war in England and it isn't good for Tesla sales there. He's always right up in the mix with some mess. I'm gonna click on that for my own knowledge of what he's up to now, but we're not gonna discuss that. Heineken is brewing beer with a massive 100 megawatt hour heat battery. Pretty darn cool. We'll talk about that. Lucid misses Q3. Anchor Solix Black Friday. Honda's already testing a new electrified Civic. Let's take a look. Let's not. Electrified is pretty cool, but doesn't sound electric. Sounds like a plug-in hybrid Civic. Eh. Zero bring its new 60-mile electric scooter to the U.S. Why is it not already here? Aren't they a U.S. company? And that looks just same concept as the one we discussed at the top, except cooler. I'm not gonna discuss that concept again. We'll wait and see what they do. Toyota's selling cars faster than it can build them, saying it can barely cover demand. Oh my, what a problem to have. Doesn't everybody want this problem? Strong demand for hybrids. Company says it can barely cover demand. If it's just hybrids, bleh. Xpeng AI Day, new AI model powering robots, robotaxis, and flying cars. We'll wait and see what becomes of that. Rode an Xpeng's Tesla FSD competitor, put in a $20,000 electric car. We'll see what Fred has to say about that. Royal Enfield unveils flying Flea S6 Scrambler. News scooter side electric microcars actually headed for production. Oh, that's cool. We were just talking about, I think it was News scooter that we started that fast scooter motorcycle thing concept on. All the EVs you can buy for less than $60,000, or for less than Cadillac Celestiq's $60,000 price hike. So the Cadillac Celestiq was already expensive at $212,000 last I looked at the price. So now we're looking at $270,000. I haven't seen one on the road ever. I've seen Bentleys and I've seen the electric Rolls Royce. I'm going to click into this, not really to see the other cars because that's easy, but to see what the new price on the Celestiq is and to see if it tells us how many have been sold or leased or whatever. I don't know that you could lease them though, because I mean, there's nothing stopping it from being a lease, but I don't think that you would have a good lease market since they're all custom. Interesting. Oh, drone DJ. Neo 2 News. Mini 4 Pro drone. Australia Sphere drones. Osmo Mobile 8 goes global. And then, of course, DJI isn't playing ball with the current administration, and they're looking at a blacklist. We'll see what happens. And I say by not playing ball, I mean not bribing. They've opened themselves up for investigation, and they can't push the investigation. They can only be cooperative. And they said, "Come on, bring it. Here's some people you can talk to, and here's all our books. Let's go." And the people who do that investigation haven't stepped up. So there's allegation that they're spying on the country, and not only is there no proof, there's also or no public proof, I should say. There's nobody taking them up on their offer to put up or shut up. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if it's my mouse getting mad at me or the computer getting mad at me for opening up all these windows. Let's see. The mouse getting mad at me is in me coming out of the range of the receiver. Where did I put it? There we go. Back on the correct. Back into the glasses, I should say. Nissan has global ambitions for affordable plug-in pickup truck. I'm not as calling a plug-in pickup lazy as I am calling a plug-in car lazy. Just because a plug-in hybrid, range extended EREV pickup, and in commercial vehicles as well, have a use case beyond just snagging tax credits and green smiles or whatever, greenwashing like the cars that do it. I'm not saying that the car isn't a functioning choice for some people, and that if you buy the car, there's anything wrong with you. I'm just saying that the manufacturer on the passenger cars is copping out. Australian battery project will store 5.5 gigawatt hours of total power. Power Up America's adding 100 new fast chargers in the southeast. That's kind of cool. And they have a Lightning and a Tesla there. So this is not the GM thing. All right, we'll look at that. Hyundai extends ultra low Ionic 5 lease deal for 189 a month. All right, we got to look at that. I love an affordable EV. Polestar 4 is the first EV to get Google Maps' new live lane guidance. I heard somebody complaining the other day about why they didn't like their Tesla nav. They said it didn't tell me what lane to get in, and I was confused because mine has always told me what lane to get in um, when it knew. Like if there were lanes and it was in the map, it would say get in this lane. Um, it wouldn't always do it itself, and it might not always be clear, but it's always there. It's like, oh, that's why the symbol looked like that. Uh, um, and Google's been doing it for many years on the phone, and tablet, and watch, but um, apparently even they weren't doing it in the car. And Polestar 4 is the first one to get that. Rivian Q3 delivery report. Revenues and deliveries rise. R2 closer than ever. Plus a new AI company. Another AI company. Hey, R2's cool. I'm not going to go into their stock stuff. Jeep recalls 375,000 Wrangler and Cherokee PHEVs. Tells owners to park outside. This is similar to the one we discussed last week with the battery plating. We'll definitely cover that as part of our recalls. First look at the Zero. Toyota teases new vehicle. Sure looks like an electric truck. Okay, whatever. Put up or shut up, Toyota. Australia has so much solar that's offering everyone free electricity. All right. Electrify all the things, baby. Future free from fossil fuels. Um, EcoFlow early Black Friday sale. Yeah, I know we talked about this because we gave out my EcoFlow code. And let me tap on the screen so that screensaver doesn't come up. Ford's new $30,000 EVs are right around the corner. Major Tesla shareholder votes against his pay, but the odds are still in his favor. Yeah, I knew that. Kia's gearing up for, not just because I know the results now, but I knew that at the time. Kia's gearing up for a big year with electric and hybrid. Tesla stock used to help employees. Now it can't because Elon took it all. So this is that same story I read the headline for, not this one, but the underlying story there that Jameson here is discussing is the same thing that I told you I only read the headline on. So I'll inform myself on that this time. So I just let it scroll on by. Verge unveils wild-looking TS Pro electric motorcycle with hubless motor, longer range, and faster charging. Oh, cool! That's cool. I gotta look at that. We've seen like the Tron cycles, and to see a production motorcycle with a hubless rear wheel, really cool. Even cooler would be a hubless front wheel to go with it, but we'll start here. Hydrogen Mafia. Toyota faces $5.7 billion RICO lawsuit. Yes. Not happy they're getting sued or whatever. I mean, yes, somebody's finally finding out why all these people have been, just slobbering all over hydrogen, even though it doesn't make any sense in the form that they've been pushing forth. I'm gonna hit it again just to make sure I got it. FERC for 2 years straight. Solar leads the U.S. power capacity. Kia's electric van spotted in 2 surprising new versions. Well, it was always meant to be modular, so cool to see they had kept a little up their sleeve. New Nissan Leaf delivers more driving range than expected. Do we want to get into that? We'll look at it, but I really only like to go by the EPA unless it's a case of, or EPA or whatever your local ratings board is, unless we're talking about like somebody setting a world record or something. Tesla keeps getting battered in Europe's EV markets. They use the stock, not why. Again, the first registration out of Europe, and this is something that the companies always complain about is the way that they work to talk about any individual month is not anything but noise. You need quarters for trends for them because of the way they do their shipping. Costco knocks up to $2,000 off select Volvo, Chevy, and GMC EVs. More cool. Elon Musk hypes Tesla's 8th gen AI chip, but still hasn't delivered the promised self-driving on the 3rd gen. They might not, Fred. They might not. So question there on the 3rd gen is what they're going to do about fitting it in our car, something newer. The new Lexus RZ is here, but it costs way more than the Tesla Model Y, but still costs Tesla way more than the Tesla Model Y. All right, so we'll see if this is a partnership with another brand, or if they built one themselves, or if they're just late to the party for the new BZ. The early Black Friday sale. Tesla's facing another fatal door handle lawsuit as NHTSA widens probe. Oh boy, I got into an online discussion on this one. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. Hyundai's EV sales plunged the moment the tax credit disappeared, which is interesting because they only had so many that qualified anyway. A leaked Hyundai EV interior reveals more than just a new screen. I like the way the thing looks. It's got a knob. It's got a knob. Look at that. I'm not against knobs. I'm just against a 747 cockpit when I enter the car. Tesla secured another major battery supply partner, but it's not the product you might think. 2.1 billion deal with Samsung SDI, but not for its cars. Okay. Maving RM2 retro electric motorcycle launches in the US at room for 2. That is sharp looking. Here are the best electric bikes. Survey Sunday. We asked how much home charging should cost you, and you answered. California hits back as CARB takes legal action against truck brands. We'll see what happens. CARB had some issues the last time this administration was in place. OLED MacBook Pro redesign may be exclusive to the M6 Pro and M6 Mac models. I was already going to skip the M5, but that's interesting. Not for this, but to me. A last chance to win an iPhone 17 Pro. Indy Spotlight. New national law will turn large parking lots into solar farms. Hey, that sounds like an idea I had. I don't know about doing it by law, but maybe as a rig or something. It's South Korea, so it's okay for them to do it. I don't know their laws. But here, it would not go down well if they just said Fiat. Yeah, everybody's large parking lot must be solar. NHTSA is investigating Waymo robotaxis for passing a stopped school bus. That's interesting. Lion electric school bus warranties voided, leaving districts stuck. Update. Unforgivable. We did discuss this one, so I'm definitely going to do that. Liebherr MK120-5.1E electric mobile crane rolls into burn. I'm curious. I usually see these types of Liebherr cranes self-propelled on the highway. On the job site, it's easy enough to hook them up to shore power. We'll click on that because I'm curious some specs on it. We tested these 4 Chinese EV brands you can't buy in the US, but don't ask us how. Those are definitely US front plate blanks on it. What are you up to? What are you up to? I'm whispering. You might not be able to hear me whispering. I said, what are you up to? Then we've got the equipment highlight, Milwaukee M18 fuel dual trigger ankle grinder. So that's where we came in on them because we had a nice discussion about the battery packs. I remember that one, but I guess last week because it wouldn't have been 2 weeks ago with that date. Yeah, we did. We did get that far. All right, so now let's hit inside EVs and see if there's anything I want to discuss more than Anything I plucked out. Best EV chargers are 25. Ford Lightning was supposed to transform the industry. Now Ford may pull the plug. I don't think we needed a copy of that article. Renault Twingo EV aims to undercut China. So the Twingo is back, reborn, redesigned. I remember Twingo. This is a cooler looking one than the last one. Tested by, a cyber makeover. Is it really on track? This car was free and it may bankrupt me. Rich Rebuilds takes on the Fisker Ocean. We discussed a little bit of that one. 800 volt Volvo EX60 will be cheaper than you think. Rivian dangles a $5 billion payday for RJ Scaringe. Here's what it will take. Hey, it worked for Tesla. Toyota's 40-year solid-state battery. Wait. Oh, not 40 years in the making. 40-year solid-state battery. Everything we know about EV, so it should last 40 years. I'm not even going to waste our time looking into what the claims are. Let it get a little closer, and then we'll see. Kia discounts. Tesla's new next-gen chips are coming. BMW. Tesla Roadster, Cybercab will begin in April. That's something else he mentioned at the event. Musk isn't going anywhere, and now he's getting paid. He had threatened he was going elsewhere if he didn't get paid. I don't know why he took the time to make the threat. I guess maybe there weren't enough votes whipped, so he was whipping. Lucid Gravity launch got off to a rough start. Lucid says this is why. Okay, well, definitely look into that. Another think piece on Musk's pay package. 2026 Cadillac Optic first drive. 2026 BMW i4 gets more range and more power. All right, we'll look at the numbers on that one. Bentley's first EV is coming, but so are more gas engines. Who would have thunk it with Bentley? Evo Trex off-grid trailer brings a hybrid twist to the RV game. You know I got to look at this. BMW i3 will kick the gas series out of its historic home. Meaning, okay, that's what I was about to say. It was meaning the factory isn't going to make gas cars anymore. And yes, exactly that. Honda had big plans for affordable EVs. Here's what went wrong. Yeah, they had lots of big plans. And then what? Toyota's high power EV with solid state batteries. Skip. Why am I so hard on Toyota and solid state batteries? Again, they've been pushing them for what, 25 plus years, and we haven't seen anything become of it yet. So I'm not impressed. I need to find out how to disable this screensaver. It came from the other tablet. Oh boy, it's not in X anymore. But we're still streaming on X, so we're good. Google Maps is about to get way easier to use while driving. Oh, this is a little warm right up here. I'm not saying I don't use it while driving, but all right, we'll see what's going on with that. Honda Super is Super One is a delightful tiny electric hot hatch. Oh, this looks like a refresh of the old little cute guy in Europe. Let's see. Mercedes crashed an electric truck on purpose. Here's what happened to the battery. You know, I love to look at some crash tests. $45,000 Rivian R2 will be able to power your home. Glad to see it. Here's what the Rivian R2 launch edition will be like. We'll look at that. Not in our product roadmap. Rivian won't make an extended range hybrid. Good on ya. Good on ya. It's not just Tesla. Rivian is getting into robotics. So we'll probably learn about their AI here, even though I didn't click it on the other one. 2027 Chevrolet Bolt EUV. Hey, the EUV is back. Remember that I asked that question recently. I said, what about the EUV? Is it just the Bolt is coming back? EUV is back, baby. Model Y performance, first drive, fast, but is it enough to keep up? We saw today a Model 3 performance. It had the ludicrous badge on the back, and Gig didn't remember what I was talking about, so I made our car do the ludicrous animation. It took so long to load the animations. Like, oh, you haven't launched ludicrous in 6 years. You're not going to do ludicrous this thing, but I did, and it said, and then it said, "Are you sure you want to enable ludicrous mode?" Yes, I'm sure. No, I want my mommy. And because I only wanted the animation, I clicked, no, I want my mommy. Because we were 4 minutes from stopping. So I didn't want it to start trying to heat up the whole car and then me forget to turn it off. Because once you hit the button, it'll stay in that mode, even when you plug it in, even when you turn it off. So I had forgot and wasted a whole mess of kilowatt hours trying to heat up the battery to not track race the car down the drag strip. Cadillac Optic switched to rear drive, and it did it faster with AI. Tall claims. Google Maps about to get a whole lot smarter with lane guidance. EV sales are slowing. Now the auto industry is banking on self-driving boom. So, excuse me, looking at the ID Buzz with the what looks like the Google hat. It's an interesting picture, so I'm gonna click on it just for that. Polestar 4 has no rear window. Here's why that's not crazy. Cybercab has no rear window, and Polestar told us about this months ago, almost a year now, over a year now. I don't know which. They showed it to us. Polestar 4 is flawed but charming. Probably Polestar's best yet. And look, Cybertruck doesn't have one either. Well, not when the Tonneau was up. 718 Cayman and Boxster EVs, everything we know. Do I want to? I'm going to click it. Drifted Mercedes GLC EV prototype across the desert. It needed a reset and better than any gas crossover. Not that the one he drove needed a reset. It's a needed reset. So you're saying that the car finally got some air breathed into it, some life. 2026 EV3, everything we know. I'll wait till we know more about it. I think we're still not getting it here in the States. I mean, yes, I should know more, but it didn't excite me to click on it. I'm sorry, guys. We will discuss it if you guys want to talk about it, though. What's up, Lee? Happy Sunday, Mr. Cool. Yeah, there's a fun story behind this new monitor of mine. It's a replacement for one that I ordered 2 years ago for the HV Nomads project, but that company is still not delivering. They're delivering vapors, and after the last delay, they said in the spring they said, "Oh, coming in the fall," and then now people are still on them, and they're not giving a date on their new delay. So I said, "Run me my money," and they did after 20 days, and and so then I found these that did what that one was claiming it would do. The only difference is these are 1080p, and those were supposed to be 4K. The Samsungs that came out are 4K, but they look like the Apple goggles, and I didn't want goggles. I wanted glasses with a screen. I didn't need all the extra stuff. I mean, I would like the extra stuff, but I wanted a screen. And I didn't want it to be heavy, and I didn't. So this does what those guys were promising at 1080p, and it was a little cheaper. So I got this, and I got the prescription inserts, and then I don't know, paid a bill or got something for the kiddos with what was left. And then if they ever bring those other ones in, or if Apple or Samsung makes theirs not look like a gaming headset, I'll give it a shot. I think Meta is doing something similar to this. I don't know because it was a Zuck project, and um, the last ones were those ones with the cameras on the edge, and that wasn't something I needed, and I didn't want the audio AI thing. I wanted monitor replacements. Thanks, Lee. And so I was afraid that these would look bad on the screen. Um, uh, my wife didn't say they looked terrible. I don't know. What do you guys think? But the other thing that was a concern for me was the reflections, which don't seem to be too bad. But what I'm loving is I'm able to. It does what I thought I was going to do with that larger teleprompter, in that I can read the text that I'm sharing with you guys without stuttering and stammering and squinting at it. It is running a 2-year-old prescription of mine because I thought he gave me a new prescription copy the last time I got these glasses, but I couldn't find that, and it's not that much different than what I had before. So I just ran with it, and then I'll just get the next ones next time. These guys, they have a surprisingly cheap prescription option, but I think that's because uh, they airlifted them out of China. So it was I think it was like $45, and then I found a coupon. Uh, so I put the coupon in there, and so $45 plus my vision insurance. I think so. Basically, my next pair of glasses will be um, $50 more expensive this year coming because I'm going to get the regular daily glasses and I'm going to get the updated inserts. What I think I'm gonna do is just bring these into the optometrist. The no, he's not an optometrist. What is he? He's an actual eye doctor. He can do surgeries and stuff. Um, I will bring this to him and see if I even need to bother because he might look at them and say, "Yeah, no, that's fine. Um, these aren't too different," and we'll go from there. But I definitely want to change these because he offered me a product that he described as Boost, and I thought it was gonna be like mini trainer bifocals, and that as I look down, it would make things zoom in a little bigger because I'm getting a little older. This is not that. If your eye person place offers you Boost, I don't recommend it because what it is you got a nice slim um, center point that's exactly your prescription. And then anywhere you look that's not right down the barrel is got a random magnification to it. I'm used to it now because while it is random, it is enough that your body can get used to it. Your brain can map it. Um, uh, I didn't want random. I wanted to be able to. Oh, I need to read that. Okay, cool. Oh, that's good. And instead, it was. Uh, oh no! I looked too far to the left to see what that car is doing, and oh, it's ginormous. So I will just go with straight flat prescription like always, unless he says, "All right, it's time for bifocals," and then I will get real line free bifocals that go down, not not the boost. That was not what I needed. And by the time I got it, it was too late. I mean, I guess I could have reordered them, but I don't think insurance would have helped with that. But they, I don't know if they had a way they could simulate that. Like maybe they could have like these, but with the adjusting prescription and be like, "This is what your new prescription is going to be like. Is it good or not?" And then you can say yes or no. Better one or two. Let's see. I think I'm done scrolling headlines, and we're gonna just bounce around between what sounds good on what I picked out before exhausting too much of your guys' time. This drop-in battery can add 60 miles of range to any EV. That sounds interesting to me. And it's not us versus them. It's the people who make EVs who make EVs. The people who make EVs are enthusiasts too. Ah, I mean, so far, yeah. I mean, I haven't met too many people who make EVs that's just a job yet. Um, they're coming. They are coming, and I don't mean like I mean one or two people that yeah, it's a job. I work for Ford. This is my project this week, but like where it's just a not fun car, and like even the people making it would never. That's what I'm saying. The future has a payday. We're not really getting into him getting paid. All the non EVs that can use Tesla superchargers in 25 updated. That's important. We were just talking about multipass and what did I call it? The subscription. I forget what we found out in the app. Membership, Tesla membership. And then I already told you I don't care about the Corolla EV until it's not a concept. This controversial plan could fix plug-in hybrids' dirty secrets, and that one was we determined was people not actually plugging in their plug-in hybrid. So let's find the mouse again. There it is, and we will move to a story page. Scroll down. Let's start with the school bus because it's a follow-up, and then if I find the recall, we'll do that one pretty early in the discussion of us flipping between stories. And where did that thing go? That's the main page. Tesla multipass. Okay, good. Got some windows back. The Lion Electric school bus warranties are voided, leaving districts stuck. So we talked about this a few months ago. Let's find out what the update says. Nobody ever says this is business before doing something nice. And the recently reborn Lion Electric company is keeping that streak alive by doing the unthinkable to cut costs. I remember now what happened. So uh, the new company, which seems a lot like the old company, tried to weasel their way out of doing the right thing, leaving schools with these 1.4 ish $1 million buses that were useless because they broke so badly all the time. Update 1st November 2025. 2 Lion buses caught fire and now they're more in trouble. Well, is that the update? Please tell me that's not the update. Uh, uh, Past summer, seems like the Canadian fleet's having some serious safety concerns. The Quebec CBC reported that the Ministry of Education has ordered Lion bus models to be taken off service immediately. Okay, so this is the update. Oof. It's always hard with Electrek when they do their updates to tell what is the update and what is the original story. Yeah, Delight Restructuring Inc. Okay, so that's the original for sure. As is the comment. Yep. Okay. So it looks like most or all of this is the update. So let's see what happened, and then we'll look at that fire story directly. This past summer, the fallout of the Lion Electric dissolution reached a critical mass, and the company's new owners, Quebec-based real estate giants group Mach, decided to cancel the warranties on electric school buses being sold in the U.S., leaving many districts with unsafe, broken-down buses with no recourse to get their money back, while the brand continued to take orders and make money in Canada. Now it seems that even the Canadian fleets have some serious safety concerns. School Transportation News and the CBC report that the Quebec Ministry of Education has ordered Lion school bus models to be taken out of service immediately following a pair of Lion C electric buses that caught fire in Montreal, Quebec on September 9th, leading to disruptions across the province and renewed scrutiny of Lion bus safety. Lion 360 diesel-powered school buses, which Lion manufactured prior to only making electric vehicles in 2017, were also affected by the issue. It sounds systemic if their combustion buses had the same problem. So this is something they carried forward into the electric bus. Lion Bus, the company's new official name, has issued an inspection bulletin detailing a 4-hour repair, but with a voided warranty. They can't get around a recall, but are they going to try and blaze new grounds like we saw with what Fisker was doing before they got slapped by amazingly the Trump administration, or are they gonna weasel their way out of this? It's a little easier on business to business side than it is business to consumer on houses and cars because very few politicians want to allow that to be on their name, no matter whatever else they'll stand for. So that's a new name. We've identified some potential anomalies in a subcomponent of the HVAC system that Lion obtains from a third-party supplier. It sounds like just them, though. In the interest of safety above all else, we request that Lion bus operators perform the following inspections and modifications: mandatory inspection of several low-voltage electrical connections, replacement of certain electrical connectors, replace fan fuses with less powerful ones. Told you it sounds like just them. So the fan fuses being too big to be safe means that they'll allow more heat, more current, more everything to pass before they do their job. And if it's the wrong setting, then they will never do their job before the danger happens. Like, I'm not going to say never, but but in enough times that they're not a safety device, except in the most extreme circumstances. Adding a fuse to the HVAC control panel circuit. This inspection and modification procedure must be carried out on all Lion 360 diesel and all Lion C 3rd gen and earlier buses, Gen 3, Gen 2, and Gen 1. So basically, anything that's still managed to be out there needs to get this recall done, including the stuff that's parked on the street that can't go, would still need their recall done. No word yet on whether the issue impacts any of the few Lion electric buses still on the U.S. roads. Oh, it's a Canadian recall. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, unless they had 2 factories. But remember, Lion Bus wouldn't help you if it did. Yeah, but this is not a warranty issue. This is a recall. Recalls and warranties are not the same. They might get paid from the same pool, but they are not the same thing. You can read about Lion's decision to leave the U.S. school districts holding the bag in its troubled products in the original July post below, and let us know how you feel about the group Mock's handling of the situation in the comments section at the bottom of the page. So this is interesting. Excuse me. This is interesting to me in that this was enough to be in its own article, and they just put another article on top of this original article. This will help for anybody doing research later, or like doing a school paper, but I would think this would have been better as a separate article with a link, similar to how they did with this fire. Um, but we are going to go to the fire article and see what that one says, and close this first tab. Nobody ever says it's business. Is this the same? No, it's not the same. Is it? Did they link back to this? Oh, I see what they did. They linked back just that one little blurb and did anchor with highlight. Fine. Let's see. NHTSA. Let's look at them.
More Waymo woes out of Atlanta, but this time it could have ended horribly.
Since we are in our recall segment, recall. Yeah, that was a recall. It was a full-on recall. This one is a NHTSA investigation. Autonomous taxi company Waymo faced scrutiny last month when a car caught on video illegally passing a stopped school bus that was letting children off in Atlanta. Ooh. Ooh. You done messed up, Ron? Now, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, is looking into it. Georgia State Representative Clint Crow seems stunned after being presented with a video of Waymo driverless car illegally passing a stopped school bus on Briarcliff Road in Atlanta last month. I'm a big fan of new technologies and emerging new technologies, and I think that driverless cars are going to become more prevalent, he told NBC News affiliate WBIR. But we got to think about how they're going to comply with the law. Yes. Crow co-sponsored Addie's Law in 2024. The legislation was named after 8-year-old Addie Pierce, who was killed in Henry County after being struck while crossing the street to get to her bus. The law stiffened the penalty for illegally passing a stopped school bus, carrying penalties of up to $1,000 in fines and even jail time. So I would say, at a minimum, you must raise the fee to something that would be noticeable by any of these companies that can afford to run a robotaxi network. So hey, this is what a human will pay for doing this impatient act. Very dangerous. And this is what happens if a corporation's vehicle does it on its own. And it'll be enough for them to pay attention to it, not just the cost of doing business. And maybe not just money, maybe something else as well. I don't know what else the corporation would care about. Because it's not just the danger of it all. You're dealing with small humans, and the algorithms don't get to practice with small humans a lot. So and near the school bus, the kid assumes a little bit more safety than one would expect. Yes, the drivers are really good at making sure that they don't put the bus in the ready mode when it's not safe. But all you got to do is look at all the different, bus driver saves kids video clips. One I'm thinking of immediately is the one where the kid's going to get off the bus. Driver snatches the backpack, slams the door shut, and then you see a car blow through the stop sign. And it's like, man, the driver saved the kid's life. I'm sure the kid's probably hurt. They were yanked back and fell down the stairs. And I'm not sure the driver wasn't hurt because you're dealing with like a 50, 60-pound human and you're snatching them back from your driver's seat while slamming the door closed and panicking. So, and that's just one. I mean, we have so many cases of close calls with school buses that we don't need to add robots being bad to the mix as well. I mean, I don't mind adding robots to the mix, but robots being bad to the mix, that's too much. Continuing on, according to Crow, these rules still apply to autonomous vehicles. Yeah, so it was $1,000. That's nothing to them. The majority of our traffic laws, the penalty is usually a fine and a driver's license suspension. These cars don't have a driver, so they don't have a driver's license, and we're really going to have to rethink who's the responsible party, who's going to be responsible, in control. Okay, at least they're thinking about this stuff. This is good. A lot of times they didn't, oh, we don't know, or oh, ban it until we do think about it. This is way more practical than that. Anyway, so rethink who's the responsible party, who's going to be responsible being in control of that vehicle, and who's going to be the operator of that vehicle. Crow believes that manufacturers should face stronger consequences when their vehicles break the law. Saying 1,000 fine doesn't go far enough. Oh, yes, I like you, Mr. Crow. At least in this. I don't know anything else about you, but I like this. All right, so let's see. Thanks to pressure from social media, politicians like Crow and Georgia State Senator Rick Williams have helped who also co-helped who helped co-author Addie's law. It seems like NHTSA is getting involved. Prompted by media reports, the U.S. Department of Transportation, or US DOT, has issued an investigation regarding Waymo AV, which states that the AV initially stopped, but then drove around the front of the bus, briefly turning right to avoid running into the bus's right front end. So it almost hit the bus too. So not just the kid who's getting out, or kids, depending on if it's a neighborhood or just like a rural route. All the ones on the bus. And remember, most American school buses don't have seatbelts. Turning left to pass in front of the bus, nearly striking the bus's front end. Then turning left to pass in front of the bus, and turning further left, and then driving down the roadway past the entire left side of the bus. The entire left side of the bus is smothered in stop signs, one or two of them, flashing lights. During this maneuver, so that means it's running stop signs too, because they deploy stop signs on the bus. The Waymo AV passed the bus's extended cross. Oh, so the little thing in the front, there's a little. I don't know if you guys have this elsewhere, but in the U.S., we've installed a crossing arm on our buses since I was a kid. They weren't all there when I was a kid, but they are now. There's a plastic or metal arm or loop of like a clothes wire, basically clothes hand wire, but basically it extends from the front of the bus to make sure that the kids can't cross closer than the driver can see them. We could use that on U.S. pickup trucks as they get taller and taller. Let's extend their fronts out just ridiculously far to the point where people can't be missed. They'd be pretty far ready to get kids out there. But somebody, I was on a regular gas car site. They were talking about how tall this new pickup truck was. That I think they said that this woman was 5'5", and she stood right in front of the hood, and you couldn't see her. I was like, "What? 5'5"? That's when I was a kid. I wasn't yet 5 feet, and I could reach into the back of a pickup truck and take stuff out, put stuff in, and the old size people could load and unload their stuff without dropping the tailgate, unless it was something that needed to come straight back or completely filled the bed to the point where you would need to lower the tailgate to do that. So back off of the pickup trucks, let's back to the buses. So the extended arm, past the extended arm, near the disembarking students. So there were kids getting out of the bus. On the bus's right, yeah, we only enter and exit the bus's right side here in the States. Uh, Depending on the bus, the driver can get in the left side if it's like we call them short buses, if it's based on a van, basically. But on the larger buses, even the driver enters in the main door in the front. I don't think many school buses have a rear door. I mean, obviously, in Boston and Baltimore with their city buses, as school buses, they do have that option with the transit bus. But most school buses don't have a rear uh, passenger door. They have the rear emergency exit, though. Anyway, students on the bus's right side were disembarking, and it passed the extended stop arm on the bus's left side. So the stop signs are out, one or two of them, three. The bar in the front is out there telling the kids not to get any closer than this to the bus, and the car goes around it, almost clips it. Well, it remains to be seen how much work NHTSA is actually doing amid the ongoing. That was the question I was saying about the robotaxi, not the robotaxi. Well, that's what I was saying about Elon's comment about texting and driving. Is within it is with the government shutdown is NHTSA and the others who would stop you from texting and driving. Are they working? You do have your local laws, and your states are still running, but eventually that would kind of trickle its way up because you wouldn't want a patchwork of regulations on this. You would want something unified, something with the DOT, the U.S. DOT. While it remains to be seen how much work they're doing during the shutdown, it's worth noting that regardless of the outcome, Senator Williams said he plans to introduce new legislation that would hold driverless car companies accountable with higher fines if their vehicles violate traffic laws. I think that makes sense. As long as it's the company and not the operator. Like if I have a robotaxi and Tesla is operating it, and then Tesla makes my car mess up. Yes, they're assuming liability if something bad happens, but I also want them to be the one that get the fee, not me, because it's their software and their network. Now, if somebody makes one and then it's like a white label turnkey, make your own self driving network, and Casey's car fleet, uh, and it's my software and everything, and then I did it, then yeah, I'd expect me to pay it. But if I'm jumping into somebody else's fleet, here's Uber, here's Tesla, here's Polestar, Rivian, whoever, then I would want them to be the one paying if the car did something like running a school bus, not just if it hit the school bus. Da, da, da. If it passes in Georgia, it could set the stage for politicians across the U.S. and even abroad to use similar fines to fins, similar fines to halt the spread of autonomous taxis in their states. I don't want to halt. I don't want to halt the spread. I want them to be just as safe and just as accountable as human drivers, and then I want them to get better than that. Driverless cars should be stopped. This is what I was talking about right here. Um, that is a bad attitude. No, they don't need to be stopped. What you need to do is do it on the fly. Figure it out. Let's go. Unless these things are murder to death machines, and obviously at that point, yeah, don't let them mow down the public. But if it's occasional mistakes, just like we see out of humans, get the fees straight. Figure out how to do that part. Keep going. But if they start becoming a menace, then yeah, then we can stop them in their tracks from being menace. But we don't want to be the Luddites. I'm scrolling. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. ODI resume or ODI resume? I don't know. Waymo AV drives around school bus. Population 2,000 estimate. Oh, 2,000 other vehicles. All incidents 1. Field reports. I don't know how to read this, but it's the first time I've seen one of these. Trans maneuver. Okay, so they're basically what the other guy just told us in the article. Preliminary evaluation. Okay. Let's go to the comments on this one. You guys got anything to say on it? And I've been keeping an eye on the X side chat, and I guess I should have invited some people in, but I didn't. So if you are on X, you can just request speaker, and I'll hit the button. Might need to flash it or something. Look at these comments. All right, so I'm not signed in on this one. I need to fix this yesterday, but I feel safer with my kids around Waymo than human drivers or Tesla FSD. I'm fine with FSD and Waymo, and many, but not all, human drivers. Just I've seen some mess around people in school buses. I've seen this happen in the past with human drivers. In California, you're supposed to stop regardless of which direction you're going on the street. Yeah, unless it's a divided highway. And I don't know about California, but that's if it's a divided highway, you don't have to stop. This is one of those very tricky edge cases. It's not, though. If you're close enough to hit the bus, then you are in its zone of control. Also in California, pedestrians have the right of way regardless of whether the pedestrians always have the right of way. Something needs to be addressed. I don't fault Waymo very much for this, but this could be solved by vehicle-to-vehicle communication. Yeah, I wish there was more of vehicle-to-vehicle communication. I wouldn't call it an edge case at all. If the text school bus with flashing lights, stop sign out, stop and wait, else full send. Well, if they still worked programmatically, yeah, you could do that, but most of them are on some sort of an AI right now, and that's assuming they don't have the control loop like that anymore, then you have to train it. What the heck are billions of AI being spent on if not to detect a big yellow bus with a flashing stop sign? I'll give you that one. Free pass, no free pass for Waymo here. They wear big boy pants. Each state's vehicle code should be explicitly accounted for. I'll give you that as well. Except for you're probably not right about how the code would work. Not the pseudo code, but the fact that I don't think there's any manual code in there like that, unless they're still doing overrides. It's a very specific scenario they forgot to specifically train it to. What? No, that's in the driver's handbook. You can't give them a pass on that. Not even a little bit. Protocol departs from the standard rules on the road that they are drilled on. No, it doesn't. They don't even get on the highways. They should know how to work a school bus. I hear people. Who do I hear? Little baby? She's probably gonna. She already doesn't like the headphones. She really doesn't like these glasses. Are you changing diapers? Oh, you're coming. Hello, baby. What you got in your hand there? You got snacks? Woo! Oh, do you have snacks? Ha! Don't hit my microphone. Yeah, I'm talking to the microphone. You hold it for me. You're the grip. Oh. Oh, you're wiggling on my cord. Let me get you. Come on this side. There's a fan in this room that if I lift her too high like that, I was looking up, even though I'm seated. Being seated, it's not too high up, but it's a good startle reaction when you got a baby. I'll pick him up and shove him into an active fan. Hi, baby. It's good to see you. How are you? Oh, you got a snack? What you eating there? A ring pop? Where's the ring? Did you just take the paper from your sister? Is that what that is? Your sister eating the real ring pop and you took the paper? Oh, your mommy's gone. Yeah? You have ring pop paper? All right. Where were we? All right, so we got the mouse. Oh, you are pooping on me. Oh, don't eat it. Don't eat it. It's not food. You can talk into it. She reached in like she had something to say, and then she, What do you want to say? You're breathing in it? Okay. Yeah? Oh, don't hit it. Don't hit it. This is a 25-year-old microphone. Yeah, I've had this microphone forever. Don't beat it up. 25. Let's see. Let me look at the age of this thing. Do the math. It's 2025. It's an 18-year-old microphone. It's a 20-year-old microphone. Wait, no, that's only if I started in 2007. I might have started in 2005, which would make it 20 exactly. I would have to go look at my archives to see when I started. Anyway, we're continuing on. School buses are extremely common, and it's a part of every state's law with some variation. I agree on that. Oops, might want to prioritize school bus interactions, Waymo. I'm not a programmer. That's just a guess. Programmer, trainer, however you're going to do it, then yeah. School buses should have been on there from day one. And what I was saying before I was distracted by children was Waymo also had that trouble where they didn't make way for a bus. Yes, they had the right of way, but it was a city bus in a town where people drive aggressively, and they got hit, and it was their fault because they should have known the drivers in their town might not see it. Or would see it and assume it would yield because I'm bigger. I'm up in a bus, but this is a city bus, not a school bus. She's zapping on my headphones. Read the comments. Writing from the UK. Seems every state has its own rules. A human traveling across all 50 states must have a hard time. They're close enough that you should be fine. No chance of memorizing thousands of different rules. Not thousands. Not thousands. But very easy for a computer. Yes, that's the point there. Yeah, let me stop on the school bus. Look over to, let's say, on recalls. Let me find that one. There it is, Jeep. And while we're on Jeep, I'm gonna log into the comments on this one. Go back to Jeep, share this tab instead. Then we'll sign into the comments again. I know I was signed into this browser before. All right, yep, them. I'm surprised it didn't ask a fingerprint. I must have used it recently. All right, there we are. We'll close this tab. Good thing I'm a lefty because I'm totally left mousing this right-handed mouse. But well, don't swallow it. It's not spaghetti. It's a headphone cord. You saw it. Jeep recalls the 375,000 Wrangler and Grand Cherokee PHEVs, tells owners to park outside. 4th, internal investigation found 19 reports of fires. Stellantis said it was recalling about 320,065 Jeep plug-in hybrids in the U.S. The recall affects certain model 2020 to 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4xe and 2022 to 2026 Wrangler Cherokee 4xe models. Stellantis is recalling 20,753 Jeep PHEVs in Canada and 2,653 in Mexico. So this is bigger than the last one we discussed, or more fleshed out. And 32,238 in markets outside of North America. Wow. The risk of fire is less when the battery is drained, the company said. Yeah, there's less energy in it. But not zero. And not just because it can still short, even if it has a lower amounts of energy in it. The vehicles were produced by, the batteries were produced by Samsung SDI, the same defect that led to the recall of the 154,000 Jeep plug-in hybrids from 2024. Same defect. So the lithium plating on the LGs? Or what? Or saying those were SDIs as well and the same problem. According to Stellantis, 9 of the reported fires were from Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees, included in the 2024 recall. So double overlap. Stellantis, stop yanking on my ear, baby. Stellantis said a remedy is imminent, and effect. They said that last time too, and then it's still not here. Yes. Hi. The recall comes after Stellantis issued one for nearly 25,000 Jeep Wrangler PHEVs less than 2 weeks ago. That's the one we were talking about. Due to a software glitch that left drivers stranded with bricked vehicles. Some had to be towed to dealers. No, that's not the same one I'm talking about. My goodness, how many? No wonder they're having a bad time. Legal, I only got one hand on you. Yeah. Well, she's gonna be yanking my head around. I might want follow mode, but then I'd have to memorize where the camera is. I can't actually see the camera because I've got it in auto dim mode and pasted the screen on top of the camera. No comments on that? Oh, there we go. Oh, good. It understands sideways look too. I feel sorry for the first time EV buyers that trusted Dodge Chrysler to make a reliable EV product. I hope this disaster doesn't deter them from buying another EV from a reliable and reputable company. That's a rough take because everybody's had recalls, and not just on their EVs. Okay, I will give Jethro that though. The Germans and Chrysler and its sisters have always had troubles with electronics. I get that part. So yeah, that part I'll give you. I've owned 2 Wranglers, and both of which the minimum possible amount of electrical things. For example, the manual locks, windows, mirrors, etc. I love the idea of 20 plus miles of electric driving, which eliminate 90% or more of my gas usage, but I don't trust them to do it right because of their corporate history. Jeep struggles with anything with 4 wheels. Oh. Car guys rib at each other. Korean pouch batteries strike again. They seriously need to pony up the licensing fees and switch to prismatic or cylindrical cells, since more North American EV makers rely on fire-prone pouch cells made in Korea. The continuing use of this cell format will set back our EV industry for years. I don't know that I can argue against that because all the ones we've had the most issues with have been pouches. I don't know if these are pouches. Korean is Samsung. Nearly all of the LGs were pouches or pouches in cans. They weren't prismatic or cylindrical that I'm aware of. Mm. Ah. All right. Do we have more recalls? I don't recall. Oh, I I was not trying to make it funny on that one. These glasses are now mad at me because I'm yanking them around because I'm getting grabbed by the ear. All right, let's go to carb and see what this is. But like I said, it might not be a conclusion or one I'm willing to discuss on the site, depending on how they handle the politics on this one. Following a lawsuit brought by CARB by major heavy truck manufacturers over California's emission requirements, CARB has struck back with a fresh lawsuit of its own, alleging that the manufacturers violated the terms of the 2023 Clean Truck Partnership Agreement to sell cleaner vehicles. Yes. Hi. Hello. Top frog. Yeah. Did you use my water? You may use my water. Not my microphone. I didn't say you could use my microphone. Say what you need to say. Oh, don't touch the rubber bands. They're 20-year-old rubber bands. I don't have more. I don't exactly know where to get more. I know I can get more. I just don't know where they are and what to get them from and all that. What do you want to say? Don't touch it. No, touch it. emotional touching. Like, excuse me, sir. What did you say? Let's see. The plaintiffs are caught in the crossfire. California demands that OEMs follow preempted laws in the United States. Well, I mean that makes sense. California has had this permission to do this, except for during the fight during Trump 1, and even if it were actually removed, it got put back, and Trump 2 doesn't seem to have actually cared enough to fight it. So um, you gotta follow the law if you want to sell products in somebody's state, especially when you were part of the negotiations to get the law set the way it was. I'm gonna leave this one open, but because Distracted Wiggles here, I'm not actually going to continue on it. If I find something that I really, really want to say about it, we'll talk about it next week. This one I did want to discuss, and I probably shouldn't discuss it while we got Wiggles, but I don't need to read this one because I've seen it already, and I know what I wanted to say. Say what I need to say. Yeah, I'm gonna say it right here in this microphone. You all right with that? Yeah, you want your unicorns? You want to hear Daddy? Oh, you can't walk and you can't climb. Be careful. Hello, Mako. No, you don't want to wear them? You don't have to wear them. I'll put them back. So on this one, it was another case of people claiming to be trapped in. Well, these people are dead, but the lawyers are claiming these people were trapped in a Tesla, and they claim it was because of door buttons. The vehicle in question is a 2016 Tesla Model S. There are no door buttons, for one. Second, the front doors don't need the 12-volt battery to open. The 12-volt system went out and they couldn't get out. Blah blah blah. Excuse. No, on the 2016 Model S, you just pull the door handle harder, and it'll let you out. And oh, well, yours, Casey, was the guppy mouth. You didn't have the facelift, so you don't know. Yes, I do. I have the Model X, which has the same door handles as my 2016 Model S, which had the guppy mouth. So, and I've driven many of them for hours and days. They didn't change them till the Palladium to the door buttons like the Model 3. Yes, hi. Oh, I need your mouse to talk. Yeah, I need my mouse to talk. I'm talking right now. Yeah, I need to speak. I can't do that with a hand in my mouth. Yeah. Don't touch the microphone. Mm-hmm. Okay, so on the Model S front doors, Model X as well. Model X is harder with no power because then you've got the dead weight of the front door motors to push through. But basically, what happens is you just give a little pull on the door handles, and then the electric poppers pop the latch, and the door kind of kicks open a little bit. On S and X, it works that way. When the power is out on the 12-volt for any reason, you do that and it does nothing because there's no electric popper. So then what happens is if you are in an emergent situation, you're going to panic a little bit. You're going to pull a little harder, just from the. It's not a lot. It's just a little harder than you normally would. Like if you do it again, or if you came to like a door in your home, like you're trying to open the bathroom door, it was just a little bit stuck. It's not locked, but you turn it and you push and nothing happened. You just turn it and push a little bit harder, right? That's the exact same way that the S and X front door handles work, including the S in this fire. I've got a whole video on how to get out of all the Teslas except the Cybertruck in a situation that you can watch. I put some effort into it. But now we come to the other part of their argument, where it has some merit, but they were still wrong because they're still on the door buttons, and there's still always the option to crawl out of the front seat or out of the back seats over the front seats, unless you have a mobility inhibition of some sort, or a disability. So the rear seats, as you're seeing here in this photo, this section of the manual, you've got these pull tabs at the edge of the carpet and the seat, and you can just pull on them, and it will let you pop it'll let you pop the latches on the rear doors on the S, and that's on every S ever made. They haven't switched to any other method yet on any of the Model S's. This is how you get out of the rear of a Model S. And this is unintuitive. It's a little pocket in the carpet, and you have to feel for it. Yes, hi. And you have to feel for it, and you probably should have practiced it when you found out about it in the manual, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm not excusing how every single one of their cars has a different mechanism to get out of the back doors. From the 2017 to early 2018 Model 3s, where there is no rear exit without having pre-modded your car to drill a hole into the door pocket under the rubber cup holder thingy, to the Model Y, where you sometimes need tools to do it, as well as that later 2018 Model 3 onward. The one I like the best is the Cybertruck, because it's got the same little door pocket, but it's got a labeled and tool-free cover over that that release latch to get to these pull tabs. And the second worst is on my car, the Model X. You have to remove the speaker grill, find the pull tab, which may be tucked behind the speaker, depending on how much care of how things look your assembly person had. Or maybe hanging down in front of the speaker if you or the shop or people who put it together either didn't care or left the tab in front of the speaker. The main reasons you might expect not to find it in front of the speaker is with some music that will cause the pull tab to vibrate, which could sound like a buzz or rattle if that's your genre of music the most. If it's the right frequency to rattle that pull tab. Yes, or you what? What? Oh, you want the red headphones? Okay. Here. You may have the red headphones. But you may not pull on them because you're going to pull down the camera rig. Here. Hi, Macho. How are you? Oh, you don't actually want them. Okay, fine. You may look at them from afar. I don't know where your mommy went. She knew you weren't happy. She gave me you to me anyway. Anyway, so the only way, if you were conscious and not injured, that you were trapped in that Tesla, is if you were in the back and didn't know about this, or if the front or rear doors had were no longer straight, like if they were pinched shut or blocked. Like say they weren't pinched shut and you could open them, but there's a tree on both sides. You're gonna have a hard time pushing your door through a tree that's physically stopping it from opening. Unless I imagine that would. Well, if the lawyer got this wrong, they could easily pretend that there was no tree or tree char remains next to the car in the crash report. So I don't want to give them that benefit of the doubt. I wanted to, but now I don't want to give them that benefit of the doubt because clearly they didn't do all their homework. So other than being unconscious, it would take something physically stopping the door from opening to have killed everyone in that Tesla. That and it being so fast to flash and burn that they couldn't get out, even if they were not unconscious. Which then also further negates the allegations. But what? You have your. Oh, you're mad that you lost your thing? Well, you should have asked for the thing. Oh, just cry, cry, cry. You can point at stuff here. Yes. Are you better now? You better now? Good. You got your thing, and you're making noise in people's ears. So, in my writings, I think I wrote it on MSN, so very few people would have seen it. My argument was that not just Tesla, not just EVs, all manufacturers need a method of opening the rear doors in an emergency that isn't immediately negating the idea of the child latches. I'm not saying that you don't want the kids to be able to get out on their own in an emergency, but if they're belted in and they already can't reach the window switches and all that, you don't want them to be able to then open the door from there. But if they're a little older and they can unbuckle themselves, and they're old enough that, if you tell them, don't jump out and play in traffic or whatever, or we can keep an eye on them, make it so that should be like sorry, I'm a little distracted. Make it so that it's very much like the glow in the dark candle in the trunk, the trunk, the frunk, the sub trunk, all of that, all those enclosures have to have a glow in the dark operation that works without power. What? 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 Yes, what? Hi. Where are we going? So are you playing and upset? Are you upset? What is this new noise you're making? You never used to wheeze whine before. What's that? Yeah, I don't want to share drool with you. Yeah. It hurt. I don't your drool. It's flaming wet. Your drool. That's your drool. Last time she did that, she took her hands and she wiped them on my shirt. I'm like, well, nobody wanted you in my mouth anyway. So anyway, as I was saying, what? What? I don't know this one. This is new from you. What is it? What is it? You threw your paper on the floor. You don't want the headphones. You're sleepy, aren't you? Why don't you just put your head here? Put your head here. And we'll take a nap, huh? Yeah. You'll be fine. You'll feel better. I promise you. Yeah? Come on. I can't play your music because your music would get me kicked off of YouTube. And have people question my parenting because you like some really bad music. Not like it doesn't sound bad, but it's like it's not kid appropriate. What? Hmm? You want to turn the other way? Is that what it is? You want to turn the other way? Yeah, you always get the left shoulder. You want the left shoulder back? That's fine. You can have the left shoulder. There you go. Yeah. Just close your eyes. Yeah. Yeah, it's nap time. I promise you it's nap time. That's what you want. You want nap time. You feel better when you wake up? Yeah. We're not going to sing any music. They don't want to hear me sing. We're not going to play your music because that would take us off the air. I'll just pat your back. You close your eyes. Close your eyes. And I'll imagine a nice field of sheep. They're just eating grass. Yeah. And Auntie's talking about using her water and the blessed chop frogs. Yeah. They're just on. Think about your song. Yeah, that song. Just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Yeah, just lay your head down. Close your eyes. You're sleepy. I know she didn't bring you over with no food and hungry. So You know what I've got? I've got the cereal snack. You want some cereal snack? Like, chill you out for a minute. Brought these for me, but you can have them. Here. Zoop. You're not a Jew when you're hungry. Have a candy bar. Okay, so as I was saying, the emergency releases in the rear need to be like the emergency releases in the trunk or any other enclosure like the hood or similar, where it's like glow in the dark, works without power, works the same way on every car, or at least everything that manufacturer makes. And in the case of manufacturers like Tesla, Chevrolet, or GM, all the others that actually like pick up SUV, car, sports car, whatever, then make sure it matches the same per body style. So all the SUVs will have the same rear exit. All of the trucks will have a different rear exit or the same as the SUVs. And then the compact cars, the 2-seat cars or whatever, will have their own thing. And stuff like the Corvette, instead of having the same thing as this rear seat here on the Model S, the Corvette should have like the front of the Model S, where it's whatever the mechanism is. If it's a button, if it's a lever, if it's a mind thought, the mind thought better have 3 backups. Whatever the mechanism is, it needs to be just that same thing, the same interaction, the same physical interaction place, but harder to make it work without power, where the human is causing a physical action to make the mechanism let go. And then that way, and the reason I say it that way, because it can be an electric button, but you got to push it hard to press something, and then the door latches open. That's fine if you want to use buttons, or if you want to use the lever, like the Model S, you pull the lever a little bit, and, it opens. You pull it harder, and it opens up harder, or manually because you're pulling a lever, pulling the cable with the lever. Excuse me, that's fine too. I don't want to restrict how and what their design is. I do want to say, hey, it has to be the same mechanism, because their argument with it being door buttons is like, okay, so if this was plaid, they could say, oh, well, the person somehow had convinced their brain so hard never hit the emergency button because the car will scream at you on the screen that they didn't do it the one time they needed to. But this wasn't that. This was the 2016 Model S. Doesn't matter if it's facelift or not facelift. Those are the same. So in that case, on the new one, my proposal is not just the back doors having a green glow in the dark pull handle, or I don't even think it has to be green. I think it just has to be glow in the dark, which is usually green, but I think it can be red or blue as well. Are you eating my headphones with the cereal? Do you want more cereal? Here, I'll give you more cereal. Don't eat that. Here. So along with having a ready to access, but not like somebody her size can't use it, emergency exit for the rear door. The front door, I suggest, should be the same mechanism you use every day to get in and out of it, but push harder or pull harder or slide it further, whatever it is, do that, but more. And then that will be your emergency release for the front. China had another idea for the outsides of the doors. I think it also covered the inside of the doors, but I don't know that they have published what their requirement is for getting people out of the inside of the car. They may have already solved this, and because enough people sell in China, they'll just use it everywhere. I don't know, but that's me. What do you guys think about getting people out of cars that are in imminent danger, or just without 12-volt power? Maybe not even imminent danger. Are you hitting me? Why are you hitting me? You want more snack? What about me? I want some snack. I'm gonna take one before you eat it all. Okay, so let's see if this goes into more about the crash. All I did was read I skimmed the lawsuit. 2024 crash in Wisconsin, Model S outside Madison. Nearby resident awakened by the sound of the crash, called 911. He said the car's on fire now. Said she heard screaming up to 5 minutes into the 911 call. 4 other passengers were inside the car. All 5 died in a crash. This sounds like the same one. There were a couple of these, so it might have been a different one. I don't think it is. Negligent in door handle design. I think this is the same one. Rather than have mechanical attachment between the door handle and the door handle release, send electronic signal. Tesla did not include mechanical releases as a fallback. They do. The other article said the same thing that they. Oh no, Tesla does. They do. Okay, Tesla does include. But these are in different places on all of their vehicles. Yes, they are. A front door is typically a lever in front of the window switches on the new cars and Cybertruck. But the old cars, like mine, S and X. You're not starving. You're not starving. I'll get you another one. Sit down. Sit down. I'll get you another one. So the legacy vehicles don't have the separate release that you have on the Model 3 onward. Yeah, this is the same one. 2016 Model S actually did include a fallback mechanical release for the front door handles. Electronically, most cases when the door had no power. If Fred wrote this, Fred also had the same generation front doors. Jameson, I don't know if Jameson did, but Fred had one of these for sure. Fallback mechanism, no power, normal door handle would work mechanically. Yep, that's what I was discussing to you guys, describing to you guys. However, the rear seat had obscured mechanical release. Yep, under a piece of carpet, under the rear seats, a flap of carpet. Noted in the manual, but most passengers would not be aware of it. That's another thing. If you happen to find yourself in a Tesla that's in an emergent situation, but not like you have time to read the manual. The manual is in your screen, and you can search it. You can be like, "Hey, door releases or something," and then you can read about it. But that would be like a medium emergency. And of course, it also assumes that the 12 volt is working. Otherwise, you'd have to read the online manual, which that's not a solution. And again, why I'm pushing on having the glow in the dark rear exit and the same interface front exit. Oh, we're running low, baby. We're running low. We got crumbs. Here, chew on this. Yeah, I told you it's crumbs. It's not all one circle anymore. All right, let's see. We've got a picture of it. In the case of this crash, the lawsuit alleges that the vehicle lost power, which would make the door handles inoperable. The one, I don't know if I touched on this, but I think I did. Sorry, making sure that X is still up. I've been thoroughly distracted by the child. If anybody came through, I'm sorry if I missed you in the X chat. The one thing there is if the lady who called it in wanted to try and get them out by opening the door handle, which I don't advise if the car's on fire, to be pulling on or touching the doors. I would suggest you either get a window smasher or a rock, tell the people, hey, back from the window, and then you smash the window if the car's on fire, just because the door skin could be hot. But anyway, in any case, if the 12 volt were not working, then and the lady on the outside wanted to try and open the doors to get them out, that would not work. On the S, and all of them now, in a collision where their airbag went off, once the airbag went off, once the airbag went off, the doors would unlock, but I don't believe they unlatch. They just unlock. And depending on the crash or water intrusion or whatever it is, sometimes Model X will automatically open up what? Sometimes the Model X will open up the. Here, you do it. Sometimes the Model X will open up the Falcon doors physically like open them when after the airbag goes off and the vehicle comes to a stop. Usually, I've only seen that on X, where on X, not X, the social media, but on Model X, when the vehicle has fallen in a boat ramp, and then it opens up the door so you can swim out. And I don't know if that's new or if that's after Mrs. Cho allegedly got trapped in her Model X. Mitch McConnell's sister-in-law. Allegedly alcohol and trapped in her brand new Model X. We'll see. Oh, I guess we won't see because they seem to think it's done. Well, that's good. You like that? I'm glad you like that snack. I wish it would make you chill out a little longer. Why are you looking at me like that? Yeah, that would be another good option, is to put it on the label on the door jamb, so at least somebody could see it. Mechanical phone. It's unclear why that didn't work here. And like I said, there are reasons it could not work there. Like if the vehicle were physically blocked by something that you couldn't push the door through or over, or if the door were crinkled shut. It also states there's a lack of inclusion of the label. Yeah, I think that would be helpful too. Label exactly where it is, like they do on the Cybertruck. I think that would be useful. But then they could still keep that nice look and smoothness with the pocket, but they could just embroider a contrasting color the emergency release button. I can't put you down. You can't walk, and it's a mess down there because your sister has a bunch of toys down there. What? You want more? You know more? Miss Rachel taught you more? Miss Rachel taught you more? Say more. Like this. More. Daddy, I want more cereal, please. More cereal. Where's your mommy? What'd she do? Yeah, enjoy that cereal. We got about a minute. A lawsuit claimed that the battery lacked safety features included in later models. Excuse me? So you treat it like a new model and then you say it's not, because you know it's not. I didn't catch that part of it. In particular, it says there were not adequate firewalls or intumescent fire suppressive materials to isolate the spread of the fire in a crash. The vehicle complied with FMVSS and all the other crash safety, fire ratings, everything. It had it. These intermittent materials expand when heated to insulate and delay the spread of the fire, and were included on Model 3, which is 2 years newer than the, well, most of them. There were some 2017 Model 3s, but they weren't employee onlys. Anyway, 2 years newer than the car in question. Yes? It's not in my mouth. Yeah, you saw me put one in there, but I swallowed it just like you. It's gone. It's gone. I ate it. It's not a pocket, it's a mouth. See, she's rubbing her hand on my sleeve. Anyway, the lawsuit seeks unspecified damages. I don't know if it's the estate of or who was bringing this suit. Just the insurance company. More. There are literally 4 crumbs left in here. You can have them. Here, sit down. Here's a crumb. Here's another crumb. Enjoy. Oh, I hear your mom come get you from all that crying and screaming. Yeah, you can go with her. Oh, she made fried rice or something. Noodles. She was thoroughly unpleasant. I said she was thoroughly unpleasant. She's not happy right now. Here, one for the road. Here you go. right, I have no more crumbs. She looks like the vampire baby with the fangs with the 2 crumbs she's got going with the cereal. So let's see. Yes, I don't know their relationship to the dead people. In later vehicles, it suggests that the error is recognized and the error is not including them on earlier vehicles. I mean, you can't go back on a compliant vehicle and just like add in, like, let me change out all the wiring and add foam to the battery. I mean, it's not a practical consideration. It's not a recallable event either. So, no. So that's new from the first article I read on it. They also seek unspecified damages to Tesla for negligence, additional punitive damages in an amount sufficient to punish Tesla for egregious misconduct, and to deter similar conduct in the future. It also names the driver, suing him and his insurance company for negligence. So the driver is not part of the group of people who died. So it might have been like an Uber or a taxi situation. And this definitely does seem like they're reaching and they're going after everybody, especially the deep pockets. But you do want them to improve over time, but you can't. Some changes cannot just be added to a car. You can't recall and stop sell and crush every car every time you come up with one new safety feature. Now, if they didn't keep doing it on the new ones, then you could say, yeah, they were too cheap. They stopped it. These people are dead because of that. But they didn't. They make it better and continue to make it better. Except for the 2 different mechanisms to open the front doors. That's potentially confusing. I say potentially because usually what happens, people see that lever, they pull it, the screen screams at them, "Don't touch this," or the driver does, "Don't use that." And the reason is it used to not drop the window, and if the power's out, it still won't drop the window if you do that. Name the driver, suing him as the insurance company. Electric says this story feels like it's more like about the door handles than the battery pack. Well, not the battery pack, the 12-volt system. Besides, regardless of the design, EVs on the whole are much less likely to catch fire than combustion engine vehicles. I mean, combustion is right there in the name. He's right. The call from the nearby residents suggests that they may have been time between the crash and a fire starting, and the sound of screams suggests that the occupants were alive for some time. All of this suggests that there should have been time for the occupants to get out of the vehicle if they had a reliable way to exit the vehicle. Yes. So that leads us to the door handles, where Tesla design has a poorly designed mechanical release in the rear. It's not poorly designed. It's the human factors suck on it. You can't find it if you didn't know it was there, and it's harder to find in the dark because you got to feel for it. The little nubbies on it may be glow in the dark on some of them, but like on Marcus's Model S, the Plaid, they are definitely black tipped. But I mean, glow in the dark doesn't matter if it lives in a dark pocket, so it wouldn't get enough light to light up. I think mine were. I don't know that I actually saw the color of mine. I only ever pulled on them. I didn't look at the colors. If you want to feel for what it's like, they are similar to the charge port release on the Model 3 and Model Y. That cable, and I guess S and X, but that one's a lot harder to reach. The one on the S and the X. It does have a mechanical fallback, and anything can happen in a crash. So it's possible the front seat occupants were both. Yeah, that's why I went for first was unconscious because the door is just so stupid simple to operate. Unconscious or other ways unable to operate the doors, leaving the rear seat passengers trapped in the trapped with their hidden releases. It's likely that more information will come out during discovery when lawyers get access to the car's data recorder. Yeah, that would be nice to see, as well as if there were any impingements on the doors themselves, why the front doors weren't operated. Or maybe they were, and they just didn't do it in time or something. I hope people follow up on this so that we can see the technical details. Not necessarily the full aftermath, but like without the gore, just the pictures of what was left. other write-ups, that sort of thing. With recent scrutiny from governments and lawsuits, Tesla is currently being investigated by the NHTSA over door handle design. And then, of course, everybody in China is being investigated for their door handles, including Tesla, which was widened by the NHTSA last week. Tesla confirmed it is finally redesigning its handles. Yes, they did also say that. We don't know when that fix might be coming. It's only going to be on new cars, too, unless it's something they can retrofit. And depending on if they can retrofit it, depends on what happens with the law, whether that becomes a forced recall. And it still won't be all the cars. It'll only be the ones that fits in. Top comment by Mr. Sherber. I'm surprised the hidden door handles took so long to become a legal issue. Anyone not familiar with the car would have no idea where to look to get out of the car, and even someone who did know might forget in a panic situation like a car crash. But it's not just Tesla. Like I said, time and again, the old man who died in the Corvette, the old man who nearly died in the Corvette with his dog, and the same situation, they couldn't find the pull tabs. The old man who died in the front seat of the Model X because the policeman was there, so he stopped struggling. The policeman was too afraid to break a window and save him. The man died in a pile of rocks. Literally pick up a freaking rock and bash it on the window on the other side, rip him out. Something. Stand there. I can't find my window smasher tool. And they said they took that as an excuse. Oh, he couldn't find his window smasher tool, so the old man had to go. No, he was in a pile of rocks. Pick one up. Anyway, back to this one. Another lawsuit is pending against Tesla, filed last month over a crash which led to the death of 3 teens in a Cybertruck. Yeah, but 8x the speed limit into a wall. I don't think you can fault Tesla for that unless it was in FSD, which it was not. Cybertruck has no exterior door handles. True. Which meant that the car was inaccessible to a rescuer who was on the scene. No, that's not accurate either. I read the manual on that. It has straps and stuff, but for obvious reasons, they're not as easy to discover because you don't want just anybody just ripping up your doors or your front trunk. Like my front trunk is not properly secured, even when locked, the way that the new ones are. With you got to supply electricity after they lose 12 volts. But it's better than the original Model S. I think my Model S had the same situation that my Model X has. But the original Model S, there was no way to get in that front trunk once the once the power was out. Let's see. Cybertruck had no exterior door handles. Rescue on the scene had to bash through the car's armor glass to pull the one survivor out. Armor glass doesn't mean it's impenetrable. It just means it's harder to do that stuff. And the armor glass is really just a slightly thicker version of the laminated side glass that they have on the new 3 and Y. Given this widening course of calls for Tesla and other automakers to simplify their door handles, it sounds like change must be on the horizon. I'm not saying you've heard me. I came up with solutions right there about making the front door mechanism work the same and work without power, but you can still have your electric poppers in there. The rear doors, they need to all be one way and discoverable and still work with the child latches. The exterior doors, I didn't touch on that at all. That's gonna be a mess. You need a way to make the exterior doors go and do their thing. I can, but right now I don't have any. I don't have anything on that one because my car has no door handles. The one I want has no door handles. My last one had the 6 door handles for the 4 doors that had the nice, cool, slidey poppy thing. That one I think is easy enough that once the door handles have slid out, make them also, if somebody pulls on them harder, make them pull the mechanical release. There you go, Model S done. Also, Model 3 and Model Y done. If we go that way, semi truck similar. So the Model 3 and Model Y, even the new one. Let's get on the semi truck. Let's get on the semi truck. Comments first. Manual latch for the rear door on my Model Y is almost impossible to reach. Yes, it's really hard. It's hidden behind a plastic cover that was hard to remove using the fingers. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't toolless on a lot of them. The hole size is small, about 2x1, and the cable is inside a cavity that's difficult to fetch. I ended up ordering a hook system from China to make it somewhat easier to pull in an emergency. And then our friend Brian from I1 Tesla, remember he made a kit as well for the Model 3. After you drill a hole in the floor of the cup holder to do that, door pocket, not cup holder. Great to think that someone would decide it's a good idea to hide inside door handle. Yeah, safety latch, but yeah. I mean, like I said, mine not only do they require pulling a speaker grill and then fishing it out and pulling it, then you have to lift a couple 100-pound door straight up. Well, out and then up. Holy cow. Yes, the accident I referred to from several months ago that my nephew was so angry about at the time. One of the guys who died in this crash was a friend of his. Okay, that's why he's so angry. Because I was about to say this is not any different than the others, except that we don't know why they didn't attempt to get the doors open. Apparently, allegedly. Nephew lives in the area. It doesn't surprise me to see the lawsuit filed. Just sent this to my nephew so he can read about it as well. The silly and dangerous door handles must be outlawed. No, just I mean that's what China did. They don't want any flush door handles, but no, outlawing them isn't the way. Making them render safe is the way. Just like the AVs, that's the way. Make them safe, and real fines on the AV operators. I hate any of them that are flush. Well, that's fine. You can hate on all you want, and especially those that move in and out. I have an Equinox. It's interesting. He blames Chevy, even though the car in question has the ones that slide in and out. Like I did just complain about having 6 of them on my car that has 4 doors. Uh, I truly hope China gets this outlawed and it affects every vehicle, EV or not. They stop putting these stupid things on their cars. Just do it safe. And some of them suck. Some of them really suck the way their interfaces are done. What really gets me, and I can't say it's you can't say it's about lowering the cost since you still must have a mechanical release on that same door. There's that, and you also made it more expensive because there's no way that any of them except for the capacitive touch, like the Cybertruck door button thing, are any cheaper than the other way. Don't tell me it costs less to have both systems. Just put normal door handles on the inside and outside. But see, his snap reaction is also freaking way off base because you can't tell me that none of these old cars didn't have door handles break off in your hand, inside or outside. And I know outside for sure because remember the 2000 Camry, 2000 2004, that Joker, or was it 98 to 2000. Either way, the last of the Camrys before they went to the nice swoopy thing that looked like a Prius. You remember how many people were missing one or more door handles on that thing because somebody levered up on them too hard? The exterior door handle can be gone too. But not just the exterior door handle, but the interior. How many movies? I know movies aren't real life, but this is a real thing. They had to get the idea from somewhere. You pull the little finger loop, and the finger loop comes off in your hand. Or like the exterior Camry door handle, the plastic breaks. So purely mechanical isn't going to fix your problem either. You're just having a case of the olds right there. So you and I both agree it's flawed, but just going straight mechanical isn't going to fix it either. I hope the bloke didn't owe your nephew money. I mean, that's gallows humor right there. The added manual door opener for the rear doors of the Model 3 under a hidden plastic plate on the bottom of the map pocket. Yeah, because the original Model 3 didn't have that. The Model Y has exactly what the first person was complaining about. Not easy to use. Neither 23 or 24 version. Not sure, but maybe the 22 has no manual. Wait. Are you saying they didn't fix it? Because I saw an 18 later model that had the same little cover on it that I saw on the Model Y. Unless it depends on your factory. It could depend on your factory for Model 3. But all the 18s came for Fremont, so yeah, that doesn't make sense again. Unless they stopped it again and then went back to the no entry and then weird. But yeah, I agree. The ones that don't have anything on the Model 3, I've always been against that. Same world, this would get recalled and get free. Yeah, the Model 3 should have had a recall for that, and it still can. Current design for the bare minimum safety, but I don't see it in the same world. This is the front. That said the front emergency door works. Yeah, yeah, you can always climb over in theory. Uh, only a stable genius like Elon could manage to mess up something as simple as door handles and windshield wipers. I'll give them the windshield wipers, but he's not the only one screwing up door handles. I don't know why they downvoted him for that. Examples. Fine. Oh, not share. Apply. Corvette. There we go. Send. The lawsuits are probably up for Tesla. Are gonna eat up that cash back. Nah, it's not just them. To be fair, Tesla and other vehicles have poorly designed emergency latches. Rivian's R1S and R1T, for example, require rear seat passengers to remove a small trim piece on the rear doors to access the emergency latch. Some vehicles, like the Jeep Wrangler Wagoneer S, appear to completely lack. Oh, so just like the Model 3 early, appear to completely lack emergency releases for the rear doors. If I was interested in looking at them right before EV credit expired, but no amount of web searches revealed the door handles had emergency release. Yeah, that's something that I'm into as safety is one of my components when buying a vehicle. Not finding those would make me either remove or return a car. Remove it from the list or return it, depending on how once you've already got it, you got to weigh a bunch of stuff. But when shopping for it in the first place, oh nope, can't get it. Doesn't have those. Or like Brian, I can insert my own because it's still got the pull handle. All right, that's a fine workaround for me. My guess is that if we had a functioning government, this might actually cause new FMVSS rules regarding emergency. I'm surprised this has taken so long. I'm lucky that uh, though my vehicle technically has electric door latches, the emergency release is just pull the handle twice. Yeah, that was the other thing I saw. Is pull it twice or pull it harder. If you pulled it the first time and didn't do anything, you're going to pull it again anyway. So um, I still think the S is better than that because if you don't have to let it go and then pull it again, which you're going to do, um, but you're going to pull it harder too. So that first pull is not doing what it's doing. You pull it harder and then it kicks out. Buckus. I have 3 EVs. A 2015 Chevy Spark with totally normal door handles inside and out. Well, the back door outside handles are up in the black area and are flush. They're not really all that flush. Handle dip. But they are mechanical. My 2017 Bolt has normal ones inside and out, are my favorite. And the 2024 ID4 has the flush outside with a rubber pad push up on. It's okay, but to use the mechanical part, you must forcefully pull up on the entire handle, and it feels like you're breaking it. Okay, so that's a cool idea that the extra still has both. But yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be so hard to use that a good Samaritan would be unable to know they're doing it. Not sure how I feel on those, but on the inside of the releases are electric. If you just pull part way, they become mechanical. If you pull them all the way, just like the S. Again, like I said above, this all seems more complicated than it needs to be. And for that, I asked these companies why. What is the real purpose do they serve? Of my 3 EVs, the Bolt is the most efficient and has the old cell handles. Just because someone else is stupid doesn't mean it's okay. I didn't say that, though. Tesla may be the biggest offender here, even with legacy automakers getting in on the trend. Yeah, I don't know what Land Rovers and Jaguar and all the others with the poppy handles. There a lot of with that Model S style, and Tesla wasn't the first. Flush style handles aren't the problem, as Hyundai has shown. It's the implementation. They're not the problem until they are. So if a Hyundai is in a crash and loses all 12-volt power, do those stupid handles still work? If you have people inside who are not responding and no power to the door handles, they are in flush. How does that help someone? And that's why Model S and then the others, because they're newer than S, unlock the doors on a crash. It's unlocking them makes the handles pop out. Let's face it, they're all stupid and no need for them outside of cool. Wrong. Um, they were also for aerodynamics, and when you were shaving percentages left and right, that was one way to get it. China's argument is that yes, you save some percentage, but the percentage is not worth it. There may be some merit to that, but if it just had a way to override during the tucked in position, but unlocked, and then if it's not unlocked and it's tucked in, then you're going to need something like a window smasher. They pivot rather than relying on motors. Yes, the pivot one, like I said, that's another way to do it. You just push on the handle and pop it out. No power required. I think that's the Hyundai he's talking about, but I don't think that all the Hyundai groups operate that way. And then you have the ones that are that way, where and you can see this on some retrofit aftermarkets to the 3 and Y, where they're flush, and then you can push them in and work them like the Hyundai, like the Model 3, Model Y. But then when they want to do the power present thing, they just go to the grab position because the car is unlocked and you can grab it electronically. So the hard part there would be making sure that the pull harder has the mechanical pull to it. I think so. Yeah, that would be a fine solution for those ones that have a rotating flush mount. Okay, but on that Equinox I had and got rid of most of those handles. If the car was locked and you pushed in on the end, you still couldn't open it. Yeah, same with the S, assuming that there was no power or it was locked. So shall I assume that on these electric door releases, if the 12-volt power is lost, that you can still push in on the end, thus exposing the other end to open? Sounds like that's what he's saying because he says mechanical, unless it's a mechanical to an electric popper, because that's not how I see them, and in my experience, that's not how they work. Well, if you're talking about the same handles, again, let's just face it, these things are dangerous and stupid. If the power's lost, you can still open it. It's just a center hinged bar. Okay, so that's what I was thinking it was. My old one was completely manual. The door's locked just like any other car, regardless of the handle type. So stop scallies from opening them. Scallywags, I guess. Bad people. And Tesla started the trend to look cool. No, Tesla did it to save a couple percent on battery range. It was to preserve the seals on the frameless doors, which are the real problem. You're partially right. Okay, let's go on to running out of time here. I want to go to the semi. But first, let's look at this van. See if we just look at some pictures here. Kia's electric van spot in 2 surprising new versions. Oh, that one I expected to come. I didn't know it was on the roadmap, but I expected it to come. This one, okay. I don't know that this one was. I will watch these videos because those look cool to me. Uh, Practical small commercial truck looks like most of the world. Single cab, short nose, decent tray on the back. Not much over 5 inches long. Usually can fit in 3 in the front. Okay, I will save this for me for later. For Costco, Lexus, California. All talked about carb. Sorta. Oh wait, I was saving that one for me. We didn't finish talking about it. The Lexus RZ is here, but still costs way more than the Tesla Model Y. My only real question on this was if it was still a BZ underneath. New and improved, refreshed, new battery. It looks the same to me, so it's probably still a BZ under there. Let's see if they say. It should also have the NACS on it because it's a 26 model. 301 miles, 35 more than the last one. Can charge the supercharger via built-in NACS. 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. That's not terrible. Using a DC fast charger. Does it work in the cold now? That's a good question. Asking for some Canadians. F Sport trim. It doesn't look bad inside. Not terrible on the price. I don't know about for the size, but not like $90,000. Model Y starts at 39. Fair enough. It didn't say that I noticed. So I'm going to assume it's based on the BZ. Until somebody tells me otherwise. Hydrogen Mafia. That's one I wanted to get into, but that's going to be a whole discussion. Where's the semi truck? Give me the semi truck. Customs. Juke. Honda. Archer. NASA. FSD. 189 a month. Elon's Criminal Utopia. Shareholders. Solar and Wind. Candela. Why do I not see the semi truck? We've opened it twice, once on each site. FSD, Polestar, Mercedes. Yeah, I don't see it at all on the electric side. All right, it's at the top of Inside EV, so we'll get it from there. Tesla Semi about to get a cyber makeover, but it's really on track. Or I guess that's the question: is it really on track? And the answer is yes, it is. Just look at the drone videos. That factory looks almost done. Tesla says it's still on track. Into production next year with a new face. Tesla refreshed the Semi's design to match the look of the new Model Y, Cybertruck, and Cybercab. And if you don't realize it, as I said, Cybertruck. Oh yeah, he said Cybertruck. Get a full width light bar, new bumper, and aero tweaks to bring its design up to date. Customer says the truck is now more efficient and can tow more. Really tow more than it already did, like legally? Oh, you know what? It would be legally if it is lighter than the prototype. Because they still get the boost. Unless they're saying that the boost got improved further than what the IRA gave it. Semi has to be the only vehicle we know of that's received a mid-cycle life. This is true. It's so true. But it's not the only one. The other vehicle that came out that same day is the same. Oh, we just haven't seen it yet. So the Roadster, maybe not even just a mid-cycle refresh. According to Musk, it's getting a whole redo. So everything that came out that day looks different than when it launched, even though it's not been on sale yet. Only a handful have been built so far. However, that's exactly what happened. A mid-cycle facelift without technically being in production. However, that's exactly what happened. As Tesla quietly unveiled updated semi yesterday, which has redesigned, which it has redesigned to receive a new family face, as well as a series of technical improvements. Tesla revealed the Semi in 2017 with plans to start building in 2019, but has kept pushing back production start date. Yeah, it sure has. During yesterday's annual shareholder meeting, Elon reaffirmed that the company's plan to begin volume production next year. It's proven to be a painfully slow rollout. Yes, it has. So 500-mile range. I wonder if they're still making a small range one, or if they're all 500 now. It doesn't say up to anywhere. It just says 500-mile range. 800 kilowatt drive power. 1.2 megawatt charging, which makes sense because the mega charger got its update from 1 megawatt to 1.2. I wonder if it still is MCS2 or if it's MCS3. It can't be NAX because NAX only goes up to megawatt. Unless, no, they couldn't do that because then everybody would already have it. A newer, higher power NAX. 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. The prototype kind of basically had that. They wouldn't tell us, but it was there. Kilowatt hours per mile. The revised features the light bar up front, which does away with the old headlight design, but it really dated its look. Yeah, it did. Even though it hadn't been out yet. We only have one image to go with, so it shows the design change that finally makes the truck look like the futuristic movie prop we all hoped it would be. Front bumper is also different. I wonder if they added a frunk finally, because they had a frunk on the original prototype, and then the production prototype lost it. I mean, but they got all those lockers and stuff on the inside. They might not need it, but I would like a frunk. Front bumper is also different now, featuring what looks like an aero channel, possibly to cool the brakes. It also has new cameras positioned on pods behind the front wheels. I don't know. I'd call them pods behind the front wheels. I'd call them the same repeater cameras that they've got on their other models. And I wonder if that was just to aid the training, or if it's still got extra cameras. I'm probably not 17 like the original, but probably has more than their other cars. Lower part is obscured. There may be some additional visual changes hiding in there, like redesigned aero wheels. Yeah, probably. May also feature the higher plastic cladding on the sides of the vehicle, as there seems to be less space between the door handle and the black part compared to the other semis we've seen so far. Okay, I also need to add the other fingerprints to this thing. Go. Tesla said the efficiency has also been improved as part of the update. I also noticed the truck now was designed for autonomy. It was before, but I guess now they're not afraid to say that. Peak charging remains unchanged at 1.2 megawatts, but that is a change. It's just not changed from the last time it was changed. Allowing it to regain 70% of its range in 30-minute charging session and can still go 500 miles on one charge with an average efficiency of 1.7 miles per kilowatt hour. That's more than the 1.55 miles per kilowatt hour efficiency the truck achieved over the 3-week trial during the drive on less. No, not drive on less. The 3-week trial period when it hauled for freight logistics company ArcBest. Full-scale production hasn't started yet because the new Nevada factory where it will be built isn't ready yet. It's supposed to come in late 2025, and that has been pushed out to early next year. Tesla said during the Q3 earnings call the factory was nearing completion, but didn't share any additional details or completion date. Only 5 comments. Let's go. Meanwhile, competition is delivering thousands of trucks already. I don't know. They are delivering though. Words that mean nothing. But then again, who knows when this thing is actually going to be in production? Tesla has been promising production imminently for years, which means their claim of production next year has no credibility. I wouldn't say zero, because we can see that the factory is making progress. Joe Tegmar and Brian White follow the semi-plant closer than any other, and they seem confident production will be in early 2026. See, Brian White, you guys have met him. He's been here. Our friend Brian. He knows some things. And Joe Tegmeyer, one of the cornerstone key members of the Quad Squad. So he knows a thing or two as well. Then Tesla find out if you want this spoiler line lump, the center driving position, reduce visibility, coming lane. Well, we'll see from somebody who actually drives one and buys one. Manning papers, manning both the booth at the gates. See, the cool thing about that though is if they have a right side booth, you can handle it. I'm assuming the other hidden ones are probably spammers. Um, yep, it was. All right, so moving on. Get one more story and then I'll call it out. I think one more. Yeah, I'll make it an RV story. Hopefully a fun one. Evotrek's off-grid trailer brings a hybrid twist to the RV game. The company was founded by people who used to work at Geely and Anchor. I like Anchor products, and Geely knows a thing or two about what they do. So the RV trailer could shape up to be something interesting. And that silhouette looks kind of cool. Little lights above the windows. Got the dual axle. It's got a very classic shape. So what's it equipped with? How's it built? California-based Evotrex came out of stealth after securing $16 million to develop a self-sustaining RV trailer. I'm hoping that they tell us that this is going to be competitive with the living RV. Uh, I don't see any deployable solar panels up top, but I also don't see this stupid chunk of monk air conditioner up top. So at the very least, this thing might have a heat pump, or be cleverly parked to hide the chunk of monk. Let's see. Where's that stealth? Sounds interesting, but it's worth noting we've seen self-sustaining RV trailers before with Lightship AE1, Pebble Flow immediately coming to mind. Both have solar panels and batteries, so they can power appliances even without a grid connection, as long as there's juice in the battery. Mm-hmm. Ooh, pictures. We know this is going to change the view, so let's do it anyway. There we go. Oh, it's got a little headlight, I guess, for setting up camp. Looks like it's got a window in the front. No step, no step. So that might be where the air conditioner is, especially seeing the venting in the front up there. They say hybrid though, so it could also be where the propane and stuff goes. I don't know. It does have solar panels. I was thinking that they would be foolish to sell one without solar panels today. And there they are. They look like 400, 500 watt models. So the little dinky 100, 200 watts the industry likes to try and sell. And it's got the rear flip up. Okay. And the porch. This may be competing with the living vehicles. Hopefully, they can stay at that $200,000, $300,000 price range. The cyber trailer, whatever they called that one for the living vehicles, was not in that same price range, but still was a little heavy for a Cybertruck. To get the Mac Daddy model, you had to get a trimmer one, which I was annoyed by because the whole thing was built for Cybertruck. If Cybertruck can't carry your best model, then get messed up AA run. All right, so let's see what this one gives us here. What makes theirs different, however, is its gas engine used to generate electricity when the sun doesn't shine. Generators are not something new in the industry, but California startup claims the trailer is quieter and more efficient. It also claims to have found a way to use the heat generated by the engine to keep the cabin warm, more like in a combustion car. I figured they might have meant something like that for a hybrid, but it's worse than propane. It's gas. Mm. We'll see when this thing gets closer. They may pull an Aptera and decide that they don't want any gas. We'll see. Or didn't give us a sign. There's still a lot we don't know. No specs, no shots of the interior other than what we saw at the back door. From the handful of computer-generated images by Evotrex, four-wheel camper looks pretty rugged, chunky tires, set of solar panels on the roof, full-width rear door that swings up to allow easy access to the rear deck. The fact that it swings up tells me that should be covered in solar panels as well, and it was not in the render. What's more, the people behind the project are well-versed in technology and automotive industries. That helps. Uh, Alex and Alex Zhao and his titles. Spent over a decade growing Anchor into one of the world's top mobile charging brands. Really? I thought it would be people at Anchor, not the founder of Anchor, or his or Co-founder and chief technology officer. It doesn't say what he used to do, but it sounds like he's pretty high up to be spending a decade growing Anchor. The company claims its trailer has advanced energy management system that can keep up onboard appliances running efficiently pretty much anywhere. Whether you're in the desert or deep in the mountains or being off grid, you wouldn't be uncomfortable. Most likely, this battery storage system tucked away somewhere. Oh, that's the other thing right there is if you have a truck with power offboarding, like the Cybertruck and all the Chevys and some of the Fords, uh, you might be able to keep that gas engine off even longer by just plugging it into your truck. And then if you have a solar surplus, you can flip that cable around and charge the truck with it. We'll know more about the startup's electrified RV trailer next year, though, when it debuts in 2026 in Las Vegas at CES. So really early next year. According to TechCrunch, the company aims to launch the first units by the end of next year. We'll see. With the main production being handled in China, final assembly will be in California. Is that saying knockdown kits overseas, I guess, to us? We'll see if Elkhart has any way of throwing a monkey wrench in their system. Or they may be like, hey, why don't you send those panels here? And we'll slap them together real fast and then hope that you're not mired in warranty recalls. We'll see. They didn't find a way to use the engine heat from the camper. They'll be using the same methods been used for a century to heat vehicles. I hate it when these startups do what's already been done and claim to have invented it. They didn't claim they invented it. They claim they found it, much like in a modern combustion car. Why do they need gas when solar is so much cheaper? Probably because they don't have enough solar for for what they've done. But I would probably be finding a way to if I went with something like this, I'd be finding a way to neuter the gas and go on to something else. When the sun isn't shining, obviously, and that's why I wouldn't be immediately dismissive of it because if you're on a long trip off grid, that might be the best solution for you. So, not it's like I say about the plug-in hybrids. I'm not pooing on the people who then add more batteries. The people who need it. And batteries are expensive, but I don't think they have to be more expensive than gas. I'm not putting on the people who it works for, just the manufacturer being lazy enough for that to be a solution. So there you have it. There is the Evo Trex. And with that, like I said, I want to thank everybody for your time today. I want to thank our channel members and sponsors for your continued assistance. I want to thank everybody who came in and watched today and commented, especially if you commented. It makes this easier to do and host. And Highlander, like I said, I'll get you on that list, and I'm gonna try to do it today. After this, after I eat my lunch dinner there, and it may be a little bit late after payday when I can give Adobe their money if they lock me out. If they don't lock me out, like I said, I'm gonna try to work on it after this. And the BBs, thank you for allowing them to usurp your place on my schedule there. And with that, I'll catch you all on the flip side, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tesla Live Show Express and Wednesday on the Tesla Live Show Live. Bye bye.